human resources practices. Lawyer Arlene Huggins has been hired to look at the board's work to implement the directives. Her final report is expected May 18th.
This is your breaking news station.
This gang.
680 News Time, 9:51.
This anti-black racism thing that they fucking start investigating in the schools in Peel Region, and then involved, they're not investigating nothing no more. Oh, but they can yell at us and spit in our faces. Oh, you dirty niggers made this disease happen. But toy! Yeah, that's funny.
Partially blocked off, all because of the collision investigation. The latest we just got off from Toronto Transportation, I should say, at Kennedy and Ellesmere, one northbound lane and one lane eastbound and one lane westbound blocked off, all because of a police investigation. There's a pedestrian struck here, so traffic now able to get through in all directions, but it's busy in the area. Just be careful of all the emergency crews. Probably a good idea to avoid it still if you don't need to go through here. We also have ongoing issues at Major Mackenzie and Highway 27. Major Mackenzie is closed up west of Highway 27 because of down wires, and Highway 27 closed off through Major Mackenzie because of that issue as well. You can use Islington as an alternate for north and southbound to get around this. And Toronto bound on the QEW approaching Eastport, two left lanes are closed for construction, causing a minor delay at this time. We also have the northbound Cawthra ramp to westbound 403 closed because of emergency construction. It's GP Bikes no HST sale plus up to 60% off. Open online and by phone for easy curbside pickup. Get your new motorcycle with finance rates as low as 0%. GPBikes.com, your power sports authority. Next report 10:01 with the forecast, Denise Andriacci.
Still chance of seeing a bit of wet weather kind of push in and out of the GTA on and off through the day, scattered, and then more steady rain tonight, lows near 10 degrees. More wet weather Thursday near 10 millimeters with highs near 14, and some more showers for Friday morning, at least into the early afternoon, but warm Friday near 17 and almost 20 degrees for the first weekend of May. Dry conditions expected both Saturday and Sunday. Your guaranteed high today, 11 degrees.
And right now in downtown Toronto, overcast conditions continue. We got a temperature of 8 degrees. Out at Pearson right now, it's overcast and 9. 680 News Time, 9:53. We all have a part in this. And regardless if what you do is considered essential, or you simply need to pick up a few essentials for your family, getting you there is important to us. That's why at Toyota, we're taking the necessary safety measures to ensure our parts and service departments remain operational to keep you moving forward safely and reliably. Because if others depend on you, you can depend on us. Contact your local Toyota dealer or visit shoptoyota.ca for more information.
You're listening to 680 News. If you have questions about the COVID-19 pandemic, you'll want to know.
Is COVID-19 the reason my butt is itchy?
We have a live video interview with the city's Associate Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Vanita Dubé, on 680news.com and our Facebook page. Questions, they can be submitted on
Twitter. And if not, what is that reason?
COVID Answers, or in the chat window on our website.
In the chat
680 News Time, 9:54. Do you have a neighbor that just wants to talk despite the physical distancing rules? Have you come across a worker who has forgotten to keep their distance at the grocery store? Well, some experts have come out with some tips on how to remind people to keep back while not hurting their feelings. Here's our Jeff Verhoeven with the details.
Sometimes we forget. We just want that human interaction once again.
No, you don't forget. Why white people are, I accidentally forgot not to rape kids and molested another kid. I just forgot it's not me, it's somebody else, and just touched them.
First tip, thanks to today.com, understand the emotional needs of the distancer. Maybe they need that contact. Also, have a rough script in your head so you don't react emotionally. Don't try to be the social distancing police, but if necessary, and it continues, drawing a hard yet calm line can be done as well.
Back the fuck up before I stab you. Who the fuck are you?
60 seconds, Mike Ethel has your business report.
680 News Time, 9:55.
What, you don't know everybody? No. You're a crackhead. You sucks dick and crack. Oh, I'm not doing none of that. I don't know you. Oh, I don't literally say all that, but I would. I don't. They're going off on their own. They're going off for fucking no fucking reason. Oh, you told us about this virus, so it's your fault the government's making me do all this. No, I didn't make nothing happen. I watched the same news you did the day before you did, that's all.
A painting in or on is how many describe their work. Lisa Taylor, founder of the Challenge Factory, is challenging that by helping her clients create productive and purposeful cultures. She has an amazing business, and then COVID-19 arrives and everything turns upside down. Lisa needs to reposition. Canada's thought leader step in with advice for her and for all of us.
Why would I? It makes no sense. I'm constantly being told to feel sorry for people that are 80 that might live to be 90. I won't live to see 40, but I should feel sorry for them. Oh, they've been alive so long. Look at how long these white people just live and live and live when you steal everything all the time and never work.
On the Wednesday markets, the Bay Street benchmark TSX composite is up 276 points.
Oh, yeah, they tried to, this guy's this old. Good. He's going to be the first one I knock out, bro.
Which is cutting the year-to-date loss to about 11%. Keep in mind, the TSX at its worst back on March 23rd was down. Oh, the dog's barking. That's nice. Isn't that distracting? Live radio from the home office.
Stupid lemon juice
what he's barking about.
flavored water boxes or whatever.
Anyway,
they see me with it in my hand. They want it.
That's possible.
I put it down there on the fucking desk thing, whatever.
Sciences related
allow me. And nobody sees me do it. Oh, it's still sitting there.
Showing some promise.
They see me with it. They want to give me that. No.
The market is looking for any indication.
Well, see, give me money.
That there is some
I didn't say I'd give you anything. I just said give me money because you owe it to me. Period. I'll give a fuck you.
That's part of the reason why stocks are up as much as they are this morning. The Dow Jones up 456 points, or 1.9%. NASDAQ up by 2.6% on the day. Also underpinning the market this morning, earnings.
Want to know the most useless rules the grocery store's coming up with?
Demand.
Pick one person from the family to go grocery shopping.
For consumers.
So that person can wander around the store for 45 fucking minutes looking for the things they don't normally buy.
By 9 to 11% plus. In some cases, big numbers. The
one-way aisles. Oh, so I can conveniently walk past every fucking product and you got paid extra to put on a shelf so I can buy that. No, I want that. I'm buying that. If you don't sell it to me, I'm stealing it. If you try and stop me, I'm killing you. I'm not following your little white people markings on the floor. Hey, that's, my markings don't count as a language, neither do yours. Fuck up. By the way, can you people not make the same markings twice ever?
And by the end of next month, maybe some in-store operations. Now, employees will have their temperatures checked.
All right, no, that I am bitching.
Shields put up. Employees also having to wear masks, and they'll be working with on a case-by-case or store-by-store basis with.
You ever go into a money market? You ever go into a cab in the 80s or 90s? They got the plexiglass thing.
Sales decline on a quarterly basis since the 2009
financial
crisis. The share price fell up in the early trade this morning. Price for oil seeing a spike of 25%. That's up $3.20. Still cheap though at $15.51 per barrel. TSX up 273. The Dow's up 456.
You know, at the grocery store is about,
at the business
and there's
center.
the Interact thing, the debit terminal, there's a little shelf there. And now there is plexiglass. There's plexiglass all the way up to the little shelf. There's a little hole over the shelf, and then plexiglass continues. So when I'm paying them, I put money there, and I leave it there, and they pick it up. Their response to give me change with the wrong hand, sideways, trying to force it into my, waiting for me to grab it from their hand. Put it down, stupid. Put it down like a dog, stupid.
We're proud to serve all of our
And you can
communities
take that
across
insult
Canada.
however you want.
And we're thinking about
There
you.
was
That's
3
why
of
we
them
made
in
some
there.
changes recently. So for a limited time, we're offering you free delivery.
Oh, why don't you want to grab my hand? Why don't you let me grab your hands? Well, you're wearing gloves and you're still being filthy, so I don't think I want to touch your gloves. Oh, you're wearing gloves, so you don't have to wash your hands ever again, right? You don't wash your hands anymore because you just wear gloves.
Today at 1-800-NEW CAPITAL to see what's available for you.
In Milton right now, cloudy sky, 10 degrees. Oshawa, partly cloudy and 9. Downtown Toronto, we've got a cloudy sky. It is 8 degrees. The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. It's 10 o'clock.
Oh, got to. I want to. Oh, we missed the first 2 hours of French news, and I knocked the frickin' coffee. Oh, I got coffee.
And Sarah Barrett.
Coffee.
Good morning. This is Wednesday, the 29th
Yeah,
of
that's right in
April.
that little
Good
hole.
morning. Here's what's making news this hour.
Maybe those are those holes in the bricks before,
On
eh?
the impact
What's up
COVID-19 is
with that?
having in Ontario is due
It's
in half
almost
an
right.
hour. Long-term care residents and staff continue to be hard hit.
The House of Commons will sit in person today to deal with the federal
Little hole
government's $9 billion support package for students. The Liberals are expected to make some changes to get it passed quickly.
Oh, Boliviano doesn't go with Pesos.
Others have been hurt after an early morning house fire in Pickering.
If you bought Blue Jays tickets and want a refund, we'll tell you what you need to know just
in a house
The
fire.
CFL is asking for help. And
Why?
baseball
Because
considers a
you
new
do
idea
things
for
that
the
set your house
2020
on
season.
fire.
Sports at 15.
We've got decent gains on Wall
Not any
Street. with
cables,
Boeing
power
doing
cables
some of
running
the
under
heavy
carpets,
lifting,
fuel
and the
carpets.
TSX higher
Do you
for a
have
fourth
curtains,
day
big
up by more
long
than
billowy fucking
270
curtains
points.
with the electric heaters?
Business at 26.
Yeah, see where I'm going.
City
I'm
News
for
Time,
Sergeant
10:01.
Time now for traffic and weather together on the ones. And here's Jordan Kerr.
This report is brought to you by AGM Renovation.
Well, I
There's a couple of
prefer-
issues on the
I
go on the highways and
prefer-
expressways. On
I hate hearing white
construction
people
on the
say
Toronto-bound
prefer.
QEW approaching
Prefer.
Eastport. 2 left lanes are closed off
Profit.
for road work. There was a
Make a
slight
big
delay, but it's
offer. You don't
easy again now.
prefer
It's not bad
anything.
through there at all. Some good news, the northbound
It's
Copper
common,
ramp to
almost.
westbound 403 is already open. They were doing emergency construction. Obviously, didn't take too long. On the
Fresh.
westbound 401,
Go.
just before the Allen and the collectors, the right lane is blocked
See
off
the
for
down arrow-
construction.
see
That's
the
just
O is
before the
actually a
long-term
down
lane
arrow, could
realignment
be a
through there, so
down.
just be careful. Again,
Low
no
prices,
delay. On Highway
fresh.
27, it's closed through Major Mackenzie at last check, all because of an
Roxy.
issue with down wires. And Major
Typical
Mackenzie
white
is
girl
closed
move,
on the
of
west side of
course.
Highway 27 because of that.
Oh,
If you
she's
use
the only one
Islington
working.
as a north-
I don't have a
southbound
choice.
alternate to get around
She's the
it.
only
Lots
one I
of
can walk
good,
out without
good
paying.
idea. And also
No,
ongoing
I'm the
issues at
criminal.
Kennedy and Ellesmere. Last check we got from
What's up with
Toronto
black
Transportation.
cashiers?
Northbound Kennedy and east and westbound Ellesmere. Left
Oh,
lane was
yell
blocked
that, leave
off
the
in
store,
those
come back in
directions.
5 minutes, and all of a
Southbound
sudden
all
there'll be
lanes
black
were open. Just be careful
cashiers
going through that
that I guess
intersection
were
as it
like
is a
hiding in
police
closets
collision
or something.
investigation. Plumbing, electrical, furnace, water damage problems in your home? Call AGM Renovations.
Well, that nigger's
For
upset, but
express
he's got
service and
money.
safeguarded visit, go to agmbasements.com.
No, I know he looks
Next
white, but
report
he
at
wants
10:11
he
with the
thinks he's a
forecast.
nigger. Just
We
call him a
send you
nigger.
an
He'll
update.
get mad. He'll
Mostly
get
cloudy
more
today.
mad.
The chance of
call
some on and off
white.
scattered
It's
showers
just-
as we move through the first half of the day with
Okay,
steady
so
rain
I'm not
tonight.
helping you
Lows
if you
near
talk
10
to me.
degrees. Your guaranteed high today is 11.
Right now in downtown Toronto, it is cloudy and 8 degrees. 680 News Time, 10:03.
Well, in about a half an hour, we will get the latest snapshot on the impact of
Yeah, so I gotta roll a
COVID-19 here
joint,
in
because that's
Ontario.
why.
Yesterday, though, we
A
did
little
see
bit
an
of music.
increase in the number of cases after
My
several
system
days of
is-
declines.
Hardest hit, long-term care homes, both those that live
And there's
there and those that
5,000
work there.
funerals waiting
6
to
80's
happen.
Irene Preklet joins us live with the latest.
Oh,
Irene,
that's
Sarah, according
just
to the
the people
numbers
that get
released by
funerals.
provincial health officials yesterday,
got these idiots convinced that the funeral home directors are upset that there's so
along
much
with
business.
1,033 staff.
It's very
Numbers in
hard on them.
hospitals
How's it
are
hard on them?
184
Maximum of,
each. The total
well,
number
you got
of
the funeral
confirmed
director
cases,
and 9 other people.
15,400.
Oh yeah, those
Below that,
motherfuckers count towards the 10 limit, eh? There's no special exemption for them. They're not essential businesses. Changing the oil in your Lexus so you can return it off lease is essential. Burying your grandmother's not essential.
Three-stage process of lifting COVID-19
Crematoriums
restrictions.
have expanded their shifts,
A
apparently.
consistent 2 to
I didn't know
4
they
week
ran
decrease
shifts.
in the number of new cases. The
Well,
latest numbers are
I
due
don't know
out
much
in
about
less than 30
crematoriums.
minutes. Reporting live,
I do
Irene
and I
Preklet,
don't.
680 News.
Well,
Yeah,
three-run
good gosh,
daycare
I
that
know
looks
that
after
part.
children of essential workers will now undergo a deep cleaning after several staff members tested positive for COVID-19.
Look, it's ugly, but it's not ugly. It's just sort of at a funny angle, eh?
So far, 3 staff here at Jesse Ketchum Child Care Center have tested positive for COVID-19, but 2 more staff and 2 children are awaiting test results. For the frontline
Oh,
workers who
since
rely
like
on this
14
daycare,
hours
this
ago,
is
you
their
still keep
biggest
telling us
fear,
their way. Oh, we
keeping
can
the
test
virus
within
off the
hours.
dump.
You could test 96 within 4 hours last
All
month.
staff and the
Now you
58
can test
children attending this
14,000 a
daycare
day.
have been asked to
You've
stay
tested
home for 2 weeks. For the essential
about
workers with kids
14,000
here,
people
it's
since
now
you
a
said you were
game to
waiting
see
for those
if they
tests.
or their little ones get sick.
It's going to be hard. You're going to put up with it. It's a little bit stressful, but you're going to be there for your kids and your family.
This is one of 7 emergency child care centers set up in the city to care for the children of essential and critical service workers.
I bought
At
coffee.
Jesse Ketchum
Oh,
Child Care Center.
no, not
in
a
York.
coffee.
I'm Carl Hensky.
An
The
amount
main
of
causes
coffee.
of community
I went to the
transmission
plug
are
at the
still
wholesale.
unclear as the province
200
struggles to get
cups,
the
the price
pandemic
like
under
5
control.
cups.
680's
Crazy.
Jamie Pulford joins
That's like a
us with the
barrel of
reason
oil.
why.
We are into our 7th week of intense pandemic restrictions
Oh, yeah,
and
see all this
physical
wet shit? No,
distancing
you
in
don't.
Ontario,
My
but people are
first
still
copy's all
being
over the floor.
infected through
Fuck
community
you
transmission.
people.
So how
I
and
know you
where
did
is
that
this
somehow.
happening?
I know you
Ontario
cursed
Chief
me
Medical
somehow.
Officer of Health, Dr. David Williams.
I could afford to get
will
another
answer
coffee. Yeah, I got 200 more coffees.
And sometimes
But you
people have
made
enough trouble
my
remembering what they did 3
coffee
days ago, let
spill.
alone 12 or 13
You ever
days
see a
ago.
heroin
So you
addict
have to
drop
do a
it?
lot
Well,
of
they don't drop
interviewing
it.
and re-interviewing, and sometimes people remember
alcoholics see somebody else spill a beer. Oh, they hold theirs tight. Jesus,
health units across the province to get more specific when investigating new cases and the sources of transmission. He says if everybody's doing what they should be doing, the numbers should be dropping.
The numbers should be dropping. We're doing it. You're not doing it. You're not doing it. You keep blabbering. We can't figure out why the numbers went up. If everybody's doing it, it should go down. We can't figure out why it went up. Did you catch the algebra? Therefore, everybody's not doing it, right?
4:30 this morning. Now, Pickering Fire says 3 people were in the home at the time. The woman was pronounced dead.
I talked to you just like the Punjabi crack car, eh? Fuck you up, I don't have to. She's dead. She's fucking dead. She's been gone 6 weeks. She's dead.
A day after holding
There's no 6 weeks of recovery for a healthy young person.
Will be back in the House of Commons today to deal with the federal government's massive support package for students. With more, here's our Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney.
The Trudeau Liberals are looking for rapid approval of their $9 billion financial assistance package for students and young people, which includes a new monthly student benefit of $1,250 a month. But they'll likely have to make some changes in order to deal with the quick feature of today's weekly in-person sitting. It needs unanimous consent to avoid lengthy proceedings, and the opposition parties, who have had a draft of the bill since the weekend, are looking for amendments. Conservatives want changes that would ensure the legislation includes incentives for young people to take available jobs.
You know why they're getting all cocky and mouthy? Because they're looking around, they don't see nobody else bigger and cockier than them. They're going to be the one of that too today. It's the logical. Where's the other 8 guys that are always pushing you around? You don't see them? Where'd they go? They're just like you. You got the same enemies. You got the same common problems.
Unable to pay their rent during this pandemic, according to the National Survey from Acorn, 70% of respondents have been impacted financially by coronavirus, but only
they don't see you. They're going to keep going to go see the same crack guy getting a crack, whatever. They're not going to see you. They're not going to think of you. They're going to forget you exist. And still be sneaking around like they're hiding from you. I don't want
so now with Illinois and Florida recording their highest single-day death counts so far in this pandemic.
Man, I gotta watch
Other
out.
states are
These
moving
people
forward
are so
with plans
far
to
gone.
reopen.
This morning, parts of the country back in business. Georgia setting the pace with restaurants now welcoming customers to sit down and have a meal. Beauty salons also
who the fuck would go sit down and eat anything in Georgia? Jesus Christ.
While New York's governor is also
The
looking for a
ATL,
path
fuck
forward.
you pussies too, right?
Shouldn't be a political discussion. Shouldn't be a philosophical discussion. Shouldn't be because people are protesting.
And Simon Property Group, one of the nation's largest mall owners, now says it plans to open 49
largest
of their
mall
malls around the
owners.
country on May 4th.
That's where people let their niggers go grazing, right? At the mall.
680 News Time 10:08. Well, do you have tickets to the Blue Jays games
Pay
this year?
to them.
Well, want to know about refunds? Our Simon Bennett reports you may get some answers today.
Up until now,
All
the
the
Blue
slaves
Jays
work
have
at
asked anyone
minimum
who has already
wage.
purchased tickets
Yeah,
to
the
hold
niggers
on
and
to
the
them.
slaves are not
While
necessarily the
Major
same
League
thing.
Baseball
Wow, this
niggers
is
have been
crazy.
playing for the
What's
season
going
for a
on
while. They had hoped to get a full 162
What's at the mall?
season in, but it appears
You never
that's
make a
not
good decision
happening
at the mall.
So Major League
Really?
Baseball has put the decision and refunds.
Why you buy
possible
shoes at the mall?
credits
There's no
in the
fucking
hands of
place
the
you can find a
teams.
shoe
To
store,
that
right?
end,
That's
you
the
can
only
expect to hear from
reason.
the club today on their policy for this season. Reports have Major League Baseball changing their contingency
Walmart's
plans
in
to
malls.
possibly
Okay, yeah, but
include
they got
games
their
in
own
ballparks,
entrances, so
as opposed
you
to
can
centralization in Arizona
handle
or
Walmart.
Florida. So the Jays
You don't
might
have to go through
games
the whole
at Rogers
mall,
Center
right?
this year, but if they do, expect them to have no fans in the stands as the ban on mass gatherings continues. The Blue Jays are owned by Rogers Communications, which also owns this radio station.
The Blue Jays are owned by Rogers Community. I knew there was something there why I didn't want no Blue
Has
Jays.
become infected with COVID-19. The company
Well,
says
put it
the
to you this
employee
way, my
last
niggas
worked
get
at
the tag.
the
They don't
301
pay no
Moore
license for
Avenue
that.
location near
Want a
Bayview on
license,
April
bitch? Come
27th.
collect it.
Any staff who
Why
may
don't you
have come
take it
into
off you then?
contact with the worker have been asked to stay home. The store has been deep cleaned and will be open today.
Well, the city's
Oh, really? You just wasted your time deep cleaning, so you didn't stir shit around. You could have waited 3 days and you'd be sterilized anyway.
Will be taking part in
Up
a
for the
live
COVID.
video interview on our
Keep up
website
with
and
all
our
the other
Facebook page
cleaning.
beginning at 12:30 this afternoon.
I'm no genius, but they keep telling us how to deal with it. Okay, it dies in 3 days on cardboard.
And use the
I've been
hashtag
disposing of every goddamn piece of cardboard I
Now
can
the
find.
City
Just
News
get rid of it,
gas
kick it out
price
the road,
update, and Pro
anything,
predicts
get rid
the
of it.
price will not
We're
change
not
at
composting it, we're
midnight,
not
staying
recycling it.
at
You would burn
81.9
it,
cents a liter.
Would
Is
burn it,
680
would,
News.
but I'm coughing
The
coffee
safety of those around you is more important than ever. The government of Canada has stated
Yeah,
that the
the city
use of a
doesn't rule.
non-medical mask
And it's a
or
good
facial
rule,
covering
because these idiots
can
have burned
be an
down their
additional
houses.
measure you
These
can take
assholes
to protect
fucking
others others around you. It's important
Those little tiny barbecues run on propane. Oh, it don't run on charcoal. It runs on a 1 pound propane.
Offers personal, non-medical masks and face shields.
Why are you trying to start that up in here? You just got that. It's used. Why are you starting it up inside your apartment where your new child lives? The whole place is made of wood. It's on the second floor. So they don't have access to what's underneath to know what might be underneath.
Well, it's not a bad drive on the highways.
It's a narrow little stairway to get out. Oh, the windows are open.
Major highways, Toronto bound on the QEW,
So,
approaching
that's gonna
east.
stop
The
the
two left
propane
lanes are
from
closed down for construction.
Windows are
The
open.
same work
Okay,
they've
so
been doing
propane
every day
just
for the
won't
past couple of weeks.
blow.
At this time, no delay.
I
Everything's
smoke with
moving well
windows
through
open,
there.
but I can't do it at the hospital, the
QEW,
library,
Winston
the
Churchill on the
daycare.
west of it, the left lane's closed off. Again, no delay. On Highway 27 in Major Mackenzie, we had lanes blocked on both north and southbound, all because of down wires. And it was through the intersection of Major Mackenzie. It was blocked on the west side of Highway 27 because of that issue as well. You could use this
Vancouver
as a north-southbound
trademark
alternate. Make sure you
orders.
plan ahead around
It is so
We
stupid.
also have ongoing
Lowercase
issues at
v,
Kennedy and Ellesmere.
2010,
The northbound,
TM/MC.
eastbound, westbound lanes
The only
have
quarters were
blocked off
trademarked.
through that intersection, all because of a collision investigation. Luckily,
They look
delays
so
were
stupid.
not too
Vancouver
bad.
2010,
From the
eh?
680 Traffic Center, here is
2008.
Denise Andriacci.
The men's team got their quarter in like 2006 or 7. The women's team didn't get theirs till like 9 or 10.
Cloudy with steady rain moving in tonight, 10 to 15
Oh, it was
millimeters.
presumed the men
More
would
rain
win
for
3 years
Thursday,
ahead
near
of time.
10 millimeters
The women had to
and
win, and
14
then 2
degrees
years
for a
later,
daytime high. The average high this time of year is 15, so we're getting closer. Your guaranteed high today, 11.
Right there in front
Right
of
now
you.
in
It's
downtown
right there.
Toronto,
This
it's
is just what I
cloudy
used
and
to
8
buy drugs.
degrees at Pearson Airport, cloudy
Oh,
and
this is
9.
the, see, I give it to the bum.
10-12.
Dirty.
Time
It's
for the
not real
Dynamic
money.
Funds
I
Market
prefer
Minute, and
paper.
we're going
Nice
to check
and
into the business center. Good morning, Chris McCaskey.
Well, good morning to you, Steve. We've got arrows pointing up on both sides of the border with Bay Street higher for a
Oh,
Thursday. It's up by
interesting.
264.
It is the
Back
snowboarder
about
Olympic
15,000
quarter.
at 15,066.
Interesting.
The Dow
But
was
that
higher
is
by
not a
375.
Olympic
The
sport
S&P
by
by
any means.
62, and the Nasdaq higher by 204. So the Nasdaq right now is the big winner on a
Coffee,
percentage
coffee,
basis,
yes,
higher by
coffee,
2.4%.
Ain't no
Gold
coffee
is
in
down
my
by
coffee.
$4.1717. A rally for oil at the moment. Wowie, it's up by $3 or
Yeah, I think I got everything on my
24%.
chest. I don't think I need to join.
15.28. And the
I know it's
Canadian
just
dollar
normal
going along
things,
for the
but-
ride, higher by a third of a cent.
Horrible things happen
71.78
towards me, and
cents
they just sort of
US.
reflect
At the
out in a
Business Center,
reverse
I'm
spiral.
Chris
I
McCusker.
reverse the spiral.
Research shows that investors
It
who work
sounds
with an
horrible, but
advisor
if you saw the
accumulate
first half
3.9
of
times
the
more
interaction, you
assets
would
than those who
understand.
don't. Advice matters, now more than ever. Learn more at
Most of you would
dynamic.ca/advice.
agree, but you understand.
The Salvation Army thanks its frontline personnel and volunteers who are working tirelessly to provide essential services to the vulnerable during COVID-19.
Vulnerable don't need essential services. They need for you to stop fucking with them because they're
The
vulnerable.
Salvation Army is adjusting its programs
Oh,
and services.
fuck, you're just sitting on my leg, just sitting there? Really?
Those who need it most.
Bro, that was a
Join us
bad
and support our
survival
neighbors
move.
in need. To donate, visit salvationarmy.ca or call 1-800-SAL-ARMY.
To the nurses and doctors
And
who
now
double their
you're
shifts.
flattened in
To those
pieces.
wiping down every surface and keeping us safe.
Oh,
Those
I
who
know
keep
the
the
Chinese
lights on
book
and the
said to
food
be good to
coming.
insects.
To
Yeah,
all
I am.
frontline
These
and
ones
emergency workers,
don't count.
Subaru dealers
Oh,
salute you.
I feed the bed bugs to the spiders.
While we
I
continue
am
to
being good
provide
to
essential
insects, sort of.
services to all
I don't think the
Subaru
Bible and the
customers,
Quran give a fuck about insects having 6 legs or 8.
simply visit us
The point
online,
was little tiny
because
life
that's how
forms.
we'll safely plan every appointment. From your Ontario Subaru dealers.
Esa noche te perdí a vos, esa noche yo también perdí mi voz. Gritaban lenguas, algo sin sentido, y bailaba removiendo un corazón herido. Ahora me siento
Rockin', man. Let's go right out in the Versa.
Yesterday, we did see an increase in the number of cases after several days of declines, helping for lower numbers today. A day after holding their first ever virtual
if
meeting,
you're francophone, your skin color, all the Canadian francophone, they're Chinese francophones, they're black francophones, white francophones, native francophones. It ain't about right. We're united in a language. That is even more. That's partly choice. You don't have to keep speaking the language you first learned as a kid. You could learn another one. If you really wanted to. Oh, I hate these fucking French people. They have a powder prostitute wrong, dude. Here's only yes, man. No, you could stop if you wanted to. No, we choose. Look how easy it is to speak English. You have to wait till it gets to 2 or 3 to press the button for French.
He says many team and league officials don't think there's going to be a 2020 season. Arash also told Lead Off this morning if the league doesn't get the money, it may have to suspend operations. That's a legitimate possibility. Well, there's a new baseball plan.
The fucking Presto card. This is the second Presto card I found with $20.80 on it.
3 10-team divisions based on geography. Teams would only compete within their division to reduce travel. The Blue Jays would be in the East with all the regulars, plus the Mets,
the one I knew had $0 unregistered.
The NCAA Board of Governors has recommended easing rule restrictions, which opens the door for
bought the card on the 13th of March to the last trip on the 19th of March.
If approved, it could be finalized.
I found it several weeks ago, so they only owned it for a week.
2022 season. NHL Classics tonight on Sportsnet at 8 o'clock. It's Game 3 of the 87th Stanley Cup Final between the Oilers and Flyers. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
BDO Debt Solutions understands that uncertain times can put a strain on your finances.
And the other card is $2 exactly on it. I have to come up with a $5 bill to put into the machine, put on the card to get my 2 fares.
Review your situation.
In any event, save $6 every single one of those.
And help find a debt solution that works for you. BDO is committed to ensuring you get the debt help you need.
I have one and I haven't even taken the sticker off yet. Brand new. 3, 4, well, it's not brand new. Several years old. Never been used. Never been tapped. Never been read.
For nothing. Like a fucking part that just broke.
Easy there, pal. This is a family business.
Sorry, Bill, but do you know what it's like?
We get them. There's little administrative oversights and shit where you end up with a second one.
And that's why you can now purchase genuine Echo, Kubota.
You didn't have to scam to get that. That's the other thing I hate. People that just scam for the sake of, oh, look what I got, look what I got. You should throw that out. No, I lied to the guy to get this. Wow. I think he lied to you. I think he tricked you into taking it away.
We are looking at a COVID comeback in Germany and a blue
COVID comeback. COVID, come back. COVID, come back. COVID, come back.
Spain announces its 4-phase plan to lift its strict
total shutdown.
Will begin to be lifted May 4th, but the deputy prime
They've
minister
never
says
said the word
these
shutdown
phases
for
will be
Sweden,
milestone-driven, not date-driven.
Citizens are showing extraordinary ability.
They don't say shutdown for all these other places, just Ontario.
To respond to the challenge, we will get there.
In France, the lockdown will begin to be lifted May 11th. The approach there will see regions divided into red or green zones. A red zone will mean the lockdown relaxation will be more strict. In Russia, the number of COVID-19 cases is approaching 100,000. President Vladimir Putin announcing an extension to the lockdown.
Hey, Putin, I found something that kills better than you! Ha ha! These nev. Again, they don't speak French.
Masks now mandatory in all states. CNN's Fred Playton.
They fear that if they open up too quickly, it could have devastating consequences for this country's economy.
Hey, do business with the people. You already know.
Stupid. Today that it's extending its tourism travel warning to June 14th. I'm Laura Carney.
Well, nearly 70 residents of a veterans home in Massachusetts have now died of COVID-19. As state and federal
what did I say? It's the motherfuckers that went through this that are dying, and all you little asshole motherfuckers younger than me that fucking, I don't care. You don't care? Good, because once they're dead, I'll fuck you up. You're gonna be my little fucking piece of property. Motherfucker, little more motherfucker.
I do believe it is from the transfer
I will extract my wealth from you.
As well
you
as
took
the
from
floating
me,
of
I will take
staff
from you.
from unit to unit. And in the beginning, we were not given the proper PPEs.
Now, 81 employees are
beginning
positive,
you weren't.
with
Nope.
82 of the remaining residents.
You said it right in the beginning, but that's when you needed it the most.
With dignity. But now
Shut the door after the barn's already on fire and the horses are dead and all that
Administrative leave
shit.
says state officials knew of the problems. I'm Julie Walker.
You're listening to Toronto's
I
only
stopped
news
in
radio
heat school
station,
after I
Big
got
City
arrested.
680 News. Also in the U.S., Los Angeles County reaching a grim milestone there. Over 1,000 COVID-19 deaths so far. This comes as new data is released on who is being infected by that virus.
Here in LA County, the head of public health says work needs to be done to figure out why COVID-19 is hitting poorer communities harder. A new report finding that people who live in areas with high poverty rates in LA have 3 times the death rate from COVID-19, and the death rate for African Americans here is significantly higher than for other races. The county saying more access to health care is needed in those communities, and more culturally appropriate information about COVID-19 is needed here. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, it's pretty much the definition of quarantine life. A reporter on Good Morning America provided an unintentional moment of levity during the COVID-19 pandemic while reporting from inside his home.
Do you know who reporter Will Reeve is? Well, you might not have, but now he's a global phenomenon.
But the companies do say they will scale up the program if it is successful, guys.
Very cool. We love it, Will. Thank you.
Yeah, poor Will. I guess he thought he framed his camera correctly so it would only capture his top half. Instead, it showed him in a nice dress shirt, smart blazer, slick tie, and shorts. His pale knees also in the shot. The video
said that people are buying twice as many shirts and jackets
and
shit,
even
no
he's
fans.
making it well, tweeting, quote, I have arrived in the most hilariously mortifying way possible. Social media, though, fine with it.
Is that what white people find mortifying?
No one's putting pants on anymore, right? Heck, I have shorts
I'm
today,
wearing
which means it's a good day.
2 pairs of pants and a jumpsuit, so that's 3 pairs.
680 News Time, 10:21.
Time now for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Jordan Kerr.
This report is brought to you by 407 ETR. A couple of little issues on the go. On the eastbound or Toronto-bound QEW approaching Eastport, the 2 left lanes are closed for construction. Work they've been doing every day for the past couple of weeks now. It's not causing a delay at this time. Major Mackenzie west of Highway 27, all lanes were blocked, and Highway 27 itself closed off between
they're funny in a way, but they don't realize they're funny.
Mackenzie, where the 2 split, all because of downed wires. You can use Islington as a north and southbound alternate around this. Really easy to do so. Make sure you plan accordingly. And we have lane restrictions at the intersection of Kennedy and Ellesmere. We have the northbound, eastbound, and westbound lanes affected. The left lane closed in either of those directions, all because of a crash cleanup. Southbound lanes were all open. 407 ETR, thanks to you for continuing to follow social distancing rules. Together we can beat the COVID-19 virus. 407ETR.com. Next report, 10:31, and with the forecast,
together we can stay up.
Still the chance to see a bit of scattered shower activity through the first half of the day, but the steadier rain and wet weather is expected tonight. It sticks around until Friday, midday at least. A few showers on Thursday, 5 to 10 additional millimeters of rain then. And Friday, we could still see some wet weather for the first half of the day. Highs near 17 for the 1st of May.
Killed dead. Killed dead.
Your guaranteed high today, 11 degrees. Cloudy sky, 8 degrees in downtown Toronto. It's cloudy and 9 at Pearson Airport.
Well, coming up at the bottom of the hour in about 10 minutes or so, we should get the latest snapshot on the impact of COVID-19 in this province. We're expecting to get the numbers from health officials here in Ontario in just moments. That is after we saw an increase in the number of cases after several days of declines. And a day after holding their first virtual meeting ever, a limited number of MPs are going to be back in the House of Commons in Ottawa.
So you guys never, ever use this shit. I don't believe you. I don't believe that no 2 MPs were like, yo, you see that shit just went down that apartment building? You never, ever fucking used it ever. I don't believe you. Because that would mean you have a big, huge liability. You are a liability. Because if anybody ever walks up to you talking on their phone and you don't realize, you don't know what that is, you're going to say something fucking retarded. And if all over YouTube right behind this guy in his shorts, right? I'm gonna a white dude wearing a jacket, blazer, and shorts. Does not surprise me. Does not surprise me. Flip-flop socks in the bathroom to go to the fucking beer store and or whatever on Saturday morning. Yeah, motherfucker. That's what these motherfuckers try.
Ask it at 680news.com/answers.
680 News gets the answers.
We're in this
Yeah, this may be this. I don't know. This stereotype might be wrong. I think it's right. You don't see black guys doing that. You can tell they tried to get dressed before they left the house. But how fucked up they are. They tried to get dressed before they left the house. White dudes don't give a fuck. White dudes don't give a fuck.
Rather included shortening the event, potentially rescheduling
White
it for
dudes
next
grow up
year.
in an environment where their mother acted like that. If you said anything, they get the fuck out of here.
Return in 2021. The
You say something about my flip-flops?
attracts about 300,000 people each year, joining a long list of summer events that have been canceled because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, Coming
from the
up
other
in
end,
60 seconds, we've got Chris McCusker standing by with the latest in business, keeping an eye on Boeing earnings this morning. Disappointed, but it appears their stock is unaffected.
680 News Time, 10:25.
The fuck this boy? How the fuck?
To be isolated, away from friends and family.
If I sold you 8 fat fucking bags of weed in a row, oh, this one's empty. This one's just spit. This one looks like weed, but didn't get higher enough. This one's definitely a McDonald's pickle. Would you keep coming back for more? No. How are people? What does Boeing do that makes money?
A message from the government of
Every time you fuck something up and have to fix it, there's a certain percentage of your profit that just got sucked out.
I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink.
The Scott mission has been
The way to look at that is you already got paid to fix that problem, so that's your fault.
Really need your help.
This is what they're doing. They're fucking it up worse.
You can provide a meal for just $4.25 and ensure that
Stop saying that!
The Scott mission is warmly welcomed by people.
Weren't they saying $4.20 before? Did they raise it 5 cents? Say $5. Say a few bucks. A couple of $4.25. You cannot buy a goddamn sandwich for $4. $2 for coffee. $2.25 for the meat patty. Put the two together. $4.75. That's the province's tax rate.
Earnings that may not have met expectations, but it's not having as much of an impact as many have thought.
Yeah, the stock is actually moving higher, even as the company saw a drop in earnings per share of 14%. As part of the latest earnings report, though, the company is also planning deep cuts to jobs. As the plan
I'm trying to stay low off the radar from COVID. Know they want me so they want me gone. Still trying to find me from crimes that I did years ago, but I don't even give a fuck. I got fined once.
Why is there so much screen in the damn it! The fuck are you fucking doing? I hate you pussy old white boy wanna be actors. You wait till like the worst possible moment for it. No, it's not the best and most effective time. What are you accomplishing? What are you accomplishing? Nothing. Yeah. If you could hear me cussing about what I see is about to happen, you can hear me cussing. I'm cussing before I'm even supposed to know what you're doing. Oh, it's over there. You mind for the aperture. No, we don't do that. That's a white boy. Germany.
Poor man tell you never to a polar blood is that real. Cap pill when the gas will. And the thing gets stashed in the backfield.
In the backfield. How y'all backfield? You're gonna become a backfield.
I'm taking it down back. Handles don't smooth, fall short as I side that. Guns with suppressors like I'm ready for combat. Yo, K-Star, what the fuck niggas beyond that? It's one phone call, 7 niggas in all black. You ready, nigga? Hop back and blow deadly, nigga. Stays in my hand, can't talk it, it's too heavy, nigga.
You want hypocrisy? America's love affair with rock and roll. Drugs are bad. Love affair with beer and driving together all the time. Somehow keeps happening. Don't be like me. Be like you. Blue BBs. I couldn't find a dented one. Un préféré des Canadiens. C-A-N-A-D-I-E-N-S. Yeah, because if you're not sure if it's going to be applying to females or males, you use the male. Almost invariably. Oh, that's. Look at that guy when you're driving down the road. Hey, look at this guy. There's always a guy, right? There's 6 fucking old women in a row. Look at that guy. That's like the last guy. Remember her? The fuck?
If you recipe that, know you'll set me high. Late shots, nigga, rep your block. Holding your tongue, the bloody north with a
can't believe I did that past year. 5 fucking years didn't notice. 10 more years after it expires. 8 fucking years didn't notice the gender and the spelling.
3, 5, 7 to Mac 11. C7, cock your weapon and start yelling if you rep 27. I got niggas in the front ready, you're willing to split you down.
I open my big fat mouth to tell y'all I'm a ghostwriter and a proofer. Oh, you didn't notice you're a girl, eh? When your country says you're a girl, that's what it says. You speak French, right? You're Canadian, that's what it says. It's not M, it's W for woman.
You niggas is crazy. Fuck up, fight and learn what these challenges do. You can be as cuckoo as you are, unbalanced too. Fight in the garden of fire, you have to study. You run you off of your avenue, but I laugh at you.
Wind soft from the hot air, runs all the crack kids, blow that shit everywhere.
Run you up the district.
Call it deep diamonds. I be popping up here, run the pink island, throw like fire. I will never retire. I will be there is no retreat, only blue
keep it padlocked, and it's animals. Watch your dog, jealous rats talk. You pack
dogs kill rats.
Like my niggas dog and son, they think you out the sandbox. Better yet, I crash your plane, spit on the black box because he's highly trained in cocaine. I if it that plug me that hard. You with more clips, for instance, the same equivalent as a bed nail in the insects. Ridiculous. Most cats is sweet like licorice. I eat they food fast, smoke niggas similar to cigarettes. You dig me yet? Better catch me, burn the ass. I'm going to burn the fast, believe you colder than the NUJ. Rep the team, I know you'll set me high. Big shots, nigga.
Yo, everything's working. Major things, raw. Mr. Churchill. Fort York. All fucking military. Hey, look at the names. Lakeshore Boulevard. What is it? It's the Lakeshore. We need to put a road here. A boulevard. Lakeshore Boulevard. There you go. Hey, this road here, we gotta name it. Queens Highway. Queensway. Yeah, that's it. Let's stick with that.
They call me abs and still. Beside my abs, they're still. I make you feel still in your abs for real. Cook coke like a gourmet chef, perfection. See my dough flow stack up, erection. That's right. Attention, me getting love for hoes. Attention, we don't love them hoes. Ladies spark the drill, double crack the mo. Niggas don't want war cause they lack the toast. Yeah, rep the team down, know you'll set me high. Big shots, nigga, rep your block.
Oh, by the way, there's much worse plants to fucking smoke. All this opium and cocaine. Salvia. Hey, remember when salvia was? Hey, you gotta try salvia. No, I don't gotta try that. Hey, I didn't wake up feeling like a shaman. God did not tell me to smoke that way with the flowers. I'm gonna trust the flower, not smoke. The flower say, hey, you want some of this stuff? No. Oh, come on, man. It's just fun and games. No, me and my flowers are going over here. You fucking still.
Yeah, motherfucking shooting that bitch.
The government is so scared of the cat that they added it to the CBSA in 1998.
Yeah. I just took a blast of booty down before I wrote this shit so I can better exhibit to niggas with focus. You niggas is miserable and hopeless. I don't fuck with you jokers. You look in my eyes and you can tell that I'm focused. Staying up late night for the smokers. 7 ounces on the chokers. Hypnosis, jacuzzi, water soakers. Lava. Beat you like a piñata, my niggas shooters not the type to put the fire to the cuchara. On the run from La Jara, La Mono, La Poli, La Puerco, the Pigger, the Popo, the Mina, the one time trying to lock me for dumb crime. Show up at the bar where I unwind, nigga play that gun reflecting the sunshine. Mapping to this like that they put the buttercup. Open up a little boutique and they assume it's a cover up naturally, half naturally. Toss a couple drops of water in the work and watch it define gravity. Bougie women call me your majesty. Accurately slash the key and have it bring the pack with me on the trapper's free sauce. When I used to share my dream, these niggas would laugh at me. Now they watching son dancing like Bush Cassidy. I'm on top of the game. Beat a shorty couple dunkers and watch her hop on the plane. They feel the cool breeze that come before the tropical rain. Mixing the shoulder, drop it in the flame, and then I chop it for change.
You can get your money. All I want is change. All I want is change.
Niggas is mad they couldn't make a spark. Couldn't believe a little guppy ate the shark. Unexpected
almost
come
the same.
Almost. Niggas is mad they couldn't make a spark.
This is Orient.
Believe it, the little guppy ate
This
the
is
shark.
not. This is almost Orient. This is just a circulation, but it's regular ass, lightweight, only 6.35. So.
And if a nigga diss, grab the rope, jump real high, suicide. The left is how the homies ride.
I bet this flipped a million times.
Lies be like genocide, a renegade. Lemons to lemonade, forgive me for my Senate. Drug dealing,
every time someone pass it off, yeah.
But again, this is Ochoa's return. Will these fuck boys ever learn? It forever be my turn. Stack chips, never let it burn. Slicker than your wig on a perm. Make it never see the God. Yeah, I break bread,
mass
see the
production,
God.
you can bring them all. Everything
identical.
identical, every single one identical. That's great. We don't do it that way in Canada. Oh, they all fit in the same machine. They all work somehow interchangeably, almost perfectly. But they are not the same. Oh, it says Canada dollar as well. It's got the loon. This is a loony. That one's got no bird on it. Look at the bird house. Look, fucking Parliament out. I'll see it again later. You would drop coins on the ground. You didn't really lose them because somebody picked them up and spent them again. Paper money blows away. That's out in the woods somewhere in the swamp. Some bear is rolling around in that in his cave. That paper money is just like kindling. I think we can use this plastic money as like heat. I think you could like do the Western Union splice, wrap this money around it, and then if you heat it just right with a big lighter, I think it'll shrink and like it'll be perfectly watertight. The problem is all the people that think this shit, we love money too much to damage. Nah, I'm not putting a lighter to death. Fuck off, man. I have bills to pay.
I'm just chilling with my boys and I can get it so woke. I'm just chilling with my boys and I can hit it so woke. I'm just chilling with my boys and I can hit it so woke. I'm just chilling with my boys and I can hit it so woke.
So it looks like it's raining. You walk outside and the only thing missing is the actual wetness, that there's no water. Like the humidity's there, the clouds are there, the gloominess. I swear I'm stepping in puddles, but you're not. Like just fall into the damn sky already. You're like a crackhead pretending not to be a crackhead. Just fall into the sky, brethren.
I'm just chilling with my boys and I can hit it so woke.
No, fuck, I'm going crazy. I've been up for like 6 days.
I'm just chilling with my boys and I can hit it so woke.
In the days they pop A's and put on bad replays from back in the days. Who the fuck what the cops say they say. It's all fun. So it do on his fucking head anyway. Any fucking day they could let the guns spray. Let the guns spray. I ain't reaching creative, but maybe they could give up. The dead guys that have missing red eyes. There is no blood inside. It's a suicide, it's a suicide, it's a suicide. It's a suicide. Murder was a case that they lost. Bringing this shit back like all across at all costs. I don't give a fuck what cause, but everybody's gonna get involved. These everybody put the mask on like white flag. And little clip niggas hanging outside. Why hide? Let's ride. We're gonna die anyway. Any fucking day.
But more than 62% of businesses taking part in the survey say they could reopen or return to normal operations less than 1 month after restrictions like physical distancing are removed.
Yeah, but that's not how it works. They're not going to just be removed, right? Like, you're not supposed to do the things you're doing. Hazard analysis and critical control point,
shoppers to wear a mask or face covering that covers their mouth and nose at all times. In a release, Costco says
when I point out that you installed the stairs upside down, your response to screaming and yelling at me was not what was expected. I thought you would say, hey, thanks for catching that before we finished installing
because of a medical condition.
And now the 680 News gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will not change at midnight. It's going to stay put at 81.9 cents.
You stop me from doing something stupid before I do it? Oh, thank you.
Local businesses make our city great.
That was about to be really bad. I will acknowledge how bad. Before I say anything about thank you, I will start to acknowledge how bad that was about too big.
By supporting local, you can help keep the places you love open. From shopping online to signing up for online classes or even ordering takeout, it all starts with you. To submit or find a local business to support, visit
we should call up this 1-800. Woodbine Entertainment. 888 blah 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 race. Champions off track wagering. Oh. See the guys hanging out outside there waiting for the. They don't watch the race. They put the money on, go stand outside and smoke 3 cigarettes.
We have ongoing issues at the intersection of Kennedy and Ellesmere. It's all because of the crash cleanup there.
They got this weird mix of looking like they really don't want to lose that money. That's all because of that cleanup.
Luckily, delays not bad through here. We also have issues on Major Mackenzie and Highway 27. On Highway 27, both north and southbound lanes are blocked on through Major Mackenzie, all because of down wires. And Major Mackenzie was blocked on the west side of Highway 27 because of that issue as well. You can use Islington north and southbound to get through the stretch, no problem. Just make sure you plan an alternate. No word on when this is going to be sorted out. On the highways and expressways, the major ones, just a bit of construction. Toronto-bound QEW approaching Eastport. 2 left lanes are closed down. No delay through there. On the eastbound 403, just past Eglinton and the Express, the left lane's closed off for road work.
It has to be one way or the other.
At home, Lowe's is offering free parcel shipping and curbside pickup with online purchases at Lowe's.ca. Next report at 10:51. And with the forecast, here's Denise Andriacci.
Could see a few scattered showers here and there the rest of the day today as we move into the later afternoon, evening, and especially overnight. Steady periods of rain, lows near 10 degrees. More showers and wet weather for Thursday, highs near 14 degrees. Chance of showers continue for Thursday night, lows near 9.
I don't mean by me, just in general, the government is telling you what to do politely.
Cloudy sky, we're 8 degrees at Pearson Airport. It's cloudy and 9. 680 News Time, 10:42. Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute, live from the Business Center. Here's Chris McCusker.
Well, Sarah, we've got arrows pointing up on both sides of the border. The NASDAQ right now is higher by almost 3%. Or 249 points. The S&P is up by 63 points, and the Dow is higher by 470. The TSX is higher for a fourth straight day, up by 314 to 15,112. So back above that 15,000 mark. And
I've heard this woman's voice telling this information for maybe 10 or 20 years.
We've got oil up by $3.
I know for a fact she has not absorbed any of it. She don't give a fuck about investing in the stock market or what those numbers might really mean. Never hear her say, like, read off the line and say, but you know what that really means sometimes. But you never hear an insight or opinion.
Is holding on to that gain, and the Canadian dollar right now is up by a third of a cent, 71.80 cents US. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
In times like these, we could all use
advice. But it still rounds down to 70. We don't have to
investing. Advice matters now more than ever. Speak to a financial advisor and learn more at dynamic.ca/advice.
David Jones here from
Do not pass go, do not collect 200, you go to jail, right? When you get out, you go to welfare.
The governor has put extreme measures in place to keep you and our staff safe.
I swear this shit is like somebody has a sense of humor running this fucking problem.
Wave to us through the window. With that in mind, help us honor a hero. Visit HireTheGardener.com and nominate a frontline worker who could win free service this season. Help us thank the people keeping us safe.
You are fucking patronizing these people.
When you use the Warham's key tags, you protect your keys. If you lose your keys, the finder can call the number on the back of the tag or drop them at any mailbox.
The enemy is one time. I ain't gotta tell you, hey yo, try to find your odds.
For free. Order your key tags today at orams.ca and make a difference in the lives of amputees like me. Thank you.
King Street niggas be acting like they kings. Regent. Sorry, you know what a regent is? No.
Cloudy sky in downtown Toronto. It's 8
Oh,
degrees. Good morning.
so there are people out there that sort of like to point loud, like, we're too stupid to know we're from Regent Park.
After an increase yesterday in the number of new COVID-19 cases, Ontario
It's too cold
has
up here to
recorded
skip
what
school.
looks to be the lowest
So whatever
one-day
public
tally this
education
month
they did give us, we all got it. It's
347.
too fucking
Province
cold
also
up here
reported
to
45
skip
new
school.
deaths today, all of whom were long-term care residents. We'll hear from Premier Doug Ford
You
as
can't
well as the
skip school
Education
till
Minister
fucking
during
June
an update
3rd or
scheduled for
4th,
1
and it's
this
over by like
afternoon.
June 9th.
The Liberals are expected to have to make changes to a $9 billion
What,
student
skip
aid
school?
package to get it through
Do
the
what?
comments today. After a virtual sitting
Fuck
yesterday,
you, I'm not
a
hanging
limited
out
number of
here.
MPs will be in Parliament to debate the package, which is designed to help students who likely won't be able to get a summer job to pay
I
for
say
their
we also
tuition.
having our own round tables out here with this whatever software.
Time now for 680 Sports.
Aren't we doing that
from
already?
Sportsnet
Am I the only
590 The
person
Fan.
that knows
Here's
you
Andrew
on
Nye.
Facebook?
Sarah, he's never played Augusta
If you
in the
got a
fall.
camera,
The
you can
2003
video
Masters
chat
champ
with
Mike
whoever.
Weir told Good Show the cool
They got
weather
a
could
camera.
make the course
And if one
nice
of you
and
don't,
firm.
the other
The
one can still
Masters
see
is
you.
now
You
scheduled
can
to
still
be
see
played
the other
in
one, even if they
November.
can't see you.
Weir also said golf is
I'm
in
the
a
only
pretty
one that
good
knows I
place
can't
compared
do
to
it.
other sports regarding social
All these fucking
distancing.
assholes have kids
The
and
Women's
grandkids and
PGA
shit. Like,
Championship
don't
has
like.
been rescheduled for October 8th due to COVID-19. The major was originally slated for June in
No, see, there's enough
Pennsylvania.
places
The
in the world
CFL is
where
in
the leaders
financial
have enough
trouble due
problems
to the
not knowing
COVID-19
exactly what's
pandemic
going on.
and has asked the
And all
federal
sorts of other
government
shit.
for
These
up to
assholes are pretending
$150
not know what's
million.
going on. They're pretending.
$30 million of
I don't know how
which
to
it needs
use
right
phone.
away to get through
I
the
found
next
this
couple of
on the
months.
ground,
The
abandoned, garbage.
$150 million ask is
They
based
make
on
live
losing the
videos and
2020
chat and shit
season
like
altogether.
with
Major
no
League Baseball is
instructions, no
reportedly
manual.
considering
I
realigning the league into
fucking
three 10-team
troubleshooted
divisions
it.
based on geography
Shoot shot
and
it,
games
shoot
will be
it.
played in home
The fucking
ballparks
thing.
with no fans.
I know what not to
Baseball
do with
officials
it.
cautiously optimistic they could play at least 100 games and begin in late June
But they
or
can't
early July.
do
Manny
it. They
Ramirez
can't be.
still has the itch.
The fucking
former
sports
MLB
guys,
superstar
they have to
has
like
his sights
actually
set
do
on
all
the
the poses
Chinese
and
Pro
moves and stuff
Baseball
to make the
League in
video. games.
Taiwan, where he played in
They wear clothes with
2013.
dots on it.
He'll be 48 next month.
So
Tonight at
it's for
7 on
certain.
Sportsnet 590, the fan, PK Subban and Lindsey
They
Vonn
know
in conversation
they're acting
with
like they
Ron
don't know
McLean.
how to.
That'll be followed by the Blue
I don't
Jays
know how
Royals
to
from
change.
July
I'm stuck in my ways.
31st
Well,
of
you just start, bro.
2015. Sports at 15 and
All right,
45
$1 million.
past every hour
Okay, let's
or
say the house
anytime at
is $10 million. You got $10 million.
sportsnet.ca/590.
And you don't owe nothing on it. Well, what about the taxes and the electricity and the water? And when you say security, it's a totally different thing. Because now it's not just about fucking having an alarm for the PPP to get somebody's attention. You got fucking guys that have to come look around and check shit because it's so fucking big. You got weirdos that want to come bother you because you live so isolated, so you attract that shit.
Tickets at PrincessMargaretLotto.com.
Introducing Irwin's new Command Lock Take Measures, built for extra control with a finger brick, up to 14-foot reach, and a high contrast DuPont.
Does any athlete ever just put like $25 million into like a fucking money market account and just stayed in their regular ass, just stayed in their regular ass college apartment?
Built for the trades, available only at Canadian Tire stores across Canada. Find out more at irwintools.ca.
680 News Time 1048.
Fucking difference does it make how big your apartment is. You're always out training and or playing and or doing PR.
This morning on
And at that
Fondale
point, you
Road,
would
that's near
kind
Altona
of
and
hope that's what
Kingston
you would be
Road.
doing.
Pickering fire officials say the woman
Stack
died
all that
at
money
the
up, don't
scene.
spend it.
2 other victims have
And then when you
non-life-threatening
bust your
injuries.
knee, your
There's
spleen,
no
your
word on
head,
cause.
you know, all sorts of money
Instead
at
of a
least to fucking
blanket
help
rate
take care of that.
reduction for Ontario hydro users, an energy lobby group says the province should stop subsidizing
How
the
often
price
is
for
so-and-so's
electricity
$40 million
and instead offer
mansions on
targeted
sale
help to
for like
customers
$3
who need
million?
it the most.
Whatever.
Our Mike Apple reports from the 680 Business Center.
In a study being put forward today to the Ford government, the Ontario Energy Association, which represents the province's energy producers and
Hey,
distributors,
last week we
says
could
that
all
nearly
buy
$6
oil
billion that
for-
the province spends every year to cut electricity
could
costs
have been
goes
paid
to
to
customers who
receive
don't
oil
necessarily need help paying the bills.
that we would.
And if the payouts continue, it
How do
will
you
total
explain that shit to people? That's
$228
upside down,
billion
man.
to subsidize hydro rates over the next 25 years. The Energy Association believes the subsidies were disproportionate It has a number of recommendations
Oh, yeah, now you
to
can
change
privatize.
the
Now you
rate
get the World Trade
structure.
Organization.
The
Oh, they're being
need the money
anti-competitive.
to pay for the costs of the COVID-19 pandemic.
You can turn everything into a business. Sure. Did you know there's
You're
every
listening
type of
to
business is
680 News.
regulated?
It's 10:49.
Whether somebody makes rules or
Sweden,
not, there's some
France,
type of
and Turkey.
regulation.
Our coverage of the coronavirus pandemic continues with our Laura Carney, who joins us with the latest international developments. In Turkey, the shutdown of schools has been extended until the end of May. This as the number of new COVID-19 cases and deaths there continues to slow. CNN's Arwen Damon.
Turkey took something of a gamble when it came to its COVID-19 preventative measures, only really implementing something of a partial lockdown. There's only a full curfew here on weekends.
The country now has nearly 115,000 cases and close to 3,000 deaths. Sweden has been an outlier during the coronavirus outbreak, not imposing strict lockdowns, and the death rate there has now risen significantly higher than many other countries in Europe per 100,000 people. But the deputy prime minister insists keeping the economy open is the right approach.
When our experts are telling us that we need more restrictions, we're ready to do that.
The French prime minister has released his plan to ease that nation's lockdown. France to be divided into red or green zones, depending on 3 criteria. A red zone will mean the lockdown relaxation will be more strict. I'm Laura Carney.
680 News Time,
Green,
10:51.
Green, you're good. You
It's
can
time for
kiss
traffic and
everybody
weather
and
together all the ones.
take
Here's
bites of each
Jordan
other's
Kerr.
food and study other
This
stuff.
report is brought to you by AGM Renovations. Watch out on the westbound 401 west of Leslie.
buddy,
The
it's my
express right
handkerchief.
lane now blocked off all because of a stalled vehicle. MTO and tow trucks are on scene. It's not causing a delay, but something to watch out for. Also northbound or Toronto bound on the QEW approaching Eastport. The 2 left lanes are closed off, all due to construction. It's not causing a delay at this time, but we're keeping an eye on the area because sometimes it does get really jammed up. But for now, it's in good shape. At Kennedy and Ellesmere, the left lane's blocked
They
on
said
northbound,
reporting live
eastbound, and
from
westbound
someone. That
lanes
don't
through
mean
the
that the
intersection,
news
all
is
because
happening
of the
live.
collision investigation.
She might be there
Last check, we
half
saw
hour
Highway
early.
27 blocked off through Major Mackenzie because of down wires, and Major Mackenzie blocked off on the west side of
weird to
Highway
watch up
27
to
because of
coming
that.
out of Old
You can
City
use
Hall.
Islington as an alternate for north and southbound traffic. Plumbing,
He's got some
electrical,
type of,
furnace,
like, I
water
can tell
damage
it's some
problems
type
in
of
your
like
home.
reporting.
Call AGM Renovations for an express service and safeguarded visit. Go to agmbasements.com. Next report, 11:01 with the forecast, Denise Andriacci.
Still the chance of seeing a bit
It
of
says
wet
it's from the
weather kind
radio,
of push
doesn't
in and
matter
out
what
of the
station.
GTA on and off through the day,
He just wants
scattered,
that
and then more
supply system.
steady
Go for
rain
it.
tonight, lows near 10
Whatever I
degrees.
said.
More wet weather Thursday, near 10
Yeah, she
millimeters
went-
with highs near 14.
Yeah, I know she's
and
coming
some
out of
more
the,
showers for Friday
courthouse.
morning,
What
at
are we in
least
there
into the
for?
early afternoon, but warm Friday near 17 and almost 20 degrees for the first weekend of May. Dry
fucking
conditions
serious?
expected both Saturday and Sunday. Your guaranteed
Yeah,
high
put me on
today,
the radio
11
and talk to
degrees.
the right.
And right now
Fuck
downtown,
off.
overcast at 8 degrees. It's overcast at 9 out at Pearson.
I don't see him ask nobody else, and he walked right up to
We all
me.
have a part in this. And
Oh, he was a
regardless of what you
radio
do is considered
personality.
essential, or you simply need to pick up a few
One of the
essentials for your
low,
family.
wrong ones.
Getting you there is
That they
important
sent
to
out
us.
into the street to get
That's why
dumb
at
shit.
Toyota, we're taking the
To see if we get his
necessary
ass
safety measures
kicked.
to ensure our parts and
Or if they
service
can get
departments
somebody
remain
dumb recording
operational
themselves on the
to
radio
keep you
saying
moving
dumb
forward
shit.
safely and reliably.
No, see, if I was on top of my game, I would be like, oh, yeah, I'm the kingpin of,
Contact your local
I
Toyota
steal,
dealer or visit shoptoyota.ca
Tim's
for more
cars.
information.
We work for you.
From talking to the
Shit, I
newsmakers
can't even see, I'm not on top of my game
You
right
need to know
now. I
about
can't even, I can get halfway through
and
the show.
answers about your job and finances.
If you have a question,
I sell stolen
stolen
alarm
680
systems.
News gets the answers.
We're
One
in this
day,
together.
I
680
was
News.
installing
Working
it,
for
and
you.
it went off.
680 News Time, 10:53. Before last month, how many of us had ever heard of social distancing? Well, it's already found its way into the
It's
lexicon.
not.
The
No,
COVID-19
no.
pandemic has given
You
birth
can
to
put
a
in a word
long
that
list of
they
terms,
think it's used
expressions, and
25,000 times.
abbreviations added to a special update of Merriam-Webster.com, including COVID-19 itself. Among the 535
Well, that's at
additions,
least
physical
essentially
distancing,
a proper
temporal
noun
thermometer,
that someone
and immune
has
surveillance.
coined.
And who hasn't used this in a recent email? WFH, working from home. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Why don't you tell
Comedian
people that?
Steve Harvey has put out a call
tell
for
people where you're
funny
working.
videos that
They
might
don't
go
know.
viral. We get details
No,
from our
you
Jennifer
could be on a
Hoffman.
fishing
Steve
trip.
Harvey
Shut
wants
up.
to turn his Twitter and Instagram into a viral video page, apparently,
Wrong.
and since we all have a bunch of
I
time
can
on
see
our
you
hands,
through the windows
he
in the
sent out
office right
this
now.
message.
Now you got a Watergate
I want you
situation
to
going on.
say
Your
to me
dumb ass said
some of your
working
funny moments, some of your great talents you got. I've been watching people play music with hair dryers. I've been watching people do golf shot tricks.
So he wants people to email their board videos to extraordinary@steveharvey.com, which right there shows he has no idea what this is all about.
So people don't put bombs in them.
Just tag
I've seen
him,
them
right?
rapid
But he
over
wants
the
people
alarm
to
clock
also
that they got
remember,
for $2
keep it
for the
clean
bargain.
And keep it PG. You know, you have those other extra cameras. We don't need to see them. Not them right there. Let's just keep it case and key is one opponent.
I'm Jeff Rahoman.
Coming up in business news in 60 seconds, a winning day on both sides of the water.
Away
news on
not
10:55.
think should have killed them.
Difficult
I've seen a
time.
man
New Life Fertility Center
punch
wishes
so
you good health
fast
and
he won
safety,
a
and
gun
thanks the
fight.
government for helping lift the financial burden. It's been hard, but from this hardship will come new life. And when you start yours, consider partnering with New Life Fertility. Don't worry about the cost, because New Life also stands by you financially with the guaranteed lowest IVF cost, just $7,900, and the highest success rate. Terms and conditions apply. NewLifeFertility.com.
To the nurses and doctors who doubled their shifts, to those wiping down every surface and keeping us safe, those who keep the lights on and the food coming, to all frontline and
And they
emergency
concentrate
workers,
it and then
Subaru
rehydrate
dealers
it. What
salute you.
they're doing
In
is
fact,
messing with the
while we
ratios,
continue
the
to provide
sugars, and
essential
the
services
acids,
to
and
all
all this. They're
Subaru
messing with
customers,
everything just a little
we'll
bit, just
drop
enough to
everything
fuck.
to put you first.
Yeah.
Simply visit us online, because that's how we'll safely plan every appointment.
Here's how the ingredient is
Ontario
listed.
Subaru dealers, let's all
All
stay
capitals.
safe.
Apple juice not from concentrate.
News time 10:56.
Comma.
Now the
Apple
City
juice
News
not from
Business
concentrate.
Report.
That's
Here's
one
Chris
ingredient.
McCusker.
Well, Sarah, optimism front
They
and
have to
center
phrase it that
today
way.
for investors in
Because
several
me and the
ways.
fucking
So we've
old
got
people
gains on
won't
both
think
sides of the
no,
border.
you're not
with the
concentrating
TSX
in here.
higher for
We
a fourth
grew
day.
this
It's up
here.
by 330
We're not stupid.
points
I don't
and
want to
back
drink
above
tap water. That's why I bought
15,000
apple juice.
at 15,128. The
I
Dow
don't want your
continues
plastic
to add
either.
to its gains. Now it's up by 508. The S&P is higher by 65 points, and the Nasdaq up by 260 points. So it continues to be the big winner in North America, with a jump right now of 3%. Greg Taylor is the CIO at Purpose Investments.
Certainly the market is still recovering from those March lows. But really what we're doing is moving to a different phase of this recovery. It seems like it's more of a rally on the opening up of the economy, the optimism around that. And then some positive headlines this morning from Gilead that there potentially is a treatment for the virus. All these things are contributing to the markets moving higher. But underlying that, what's really interesting to me is it's a rotation of the leadership. The last few weeks, the leaders have really been large cap tech stocks. And now we're starting to see some catch up from the cyclicals. So the banks, the energy companies, the industrials, they're starting to move higher. So this is another phase of the rally off the lows.
Now, circling back to Gilead, that company says early results from a U.S.-only study shows remdesivir helped patients recover from COVID-19 more quickly. Now, the details were not released,
We gotta find the,
we are
what
also
would it
hearing
be?
we could
The
get
Great Western
details
Telegraph, whatever,
soon. Right now,
Bell
shares
Western.
in Gilead Sciences up by about 4% to 81.77 a
Official
share.
/ unofficial
and year to date, the stock now looking at a gain of 26%.
telephone operators,
Also
switchboard
helping
operators.
markets today, we've got a big jump in oil, and the gain is even holding after the release of new data. It was released in the U.S., showing a build of 8.9 million barrels in crude supplies last week. Now,
It's
that
not
was
in
lower
barrels.
than
If
expected.
it was in barrels,
so
it'd be no
that
problem.
could suggest the demand-supply gap might be getting smaller. Right now, oil is higher by 33%, up by $4.14, $16.47 a barrel. The Canadian dollar higher by 0.4 cents, 71.82 cents
Okay,
US.
what are you gonna buy?
And then gold is down by $8, 17.13. I'm Chris McCusker. This is 680 News.
At Tim Hortons, we're proud to serve all of our communities across Canada. And we're thinking about you. That's why we've made some changes recently. So for a limited time, we're offering you free delivery from Uber Eats and Skip the Dishes. Tim Hortons, proudly serving our communities.
Hi, Tom Rokicki here of Inline Fiberglass Windows and Doors. I am proud to be living and working here in the Greater Toronto Area. All of us are so lucky and blessed to be part of this strong community, province, and country. At this time, I feel it is important to remind all our friends, family, and employees to keep an eye on one another, especially the most vulnerable. Let's also come together in support of the heroes on the front lines. Together, we will get through this. Thank you.
At Tim Hortons, we're proud to serve all of our communities
Some
across
very bad
Canada.
news for you.
And we're thinking about
Genetically,
you. That's why we've made some changes.
you
recently.
can stomach
So
my
for a
blood.
limited time, we're
Therefore,
offering you
you
free
are
delivery from Uber
guaranteed
Eats
to
and
get
Skip
killed.
the Dishes. Tim Hortons.
Oh,
proudly
you got
serving our
teeth.
communities.
And Josh, why aren't you biting my fingers? Why are you not biting my fingers?
680 News. Taking a look at some regional weather conditions in Bradford right now. Some light rain, 10 degrees. Brampton, cloudy and 9. Oakville, cloudy sky, 8 degrees. It's partly cloudy and 9 in Coburg. Barrie right now, some rain and 10 degrees. Downtown Toronto, cloudy and 8.
Can't quite see if you got it.
The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM
Give you
Toronto.
5
It's
seconds to
11
let go.
o'clock.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, bad weather.
So am I waiting for these numbers? Or am I
Here are Steve Roberts and Sarah Paris.
I need a keyboard shortcut that makes this go away. How come there's no clock button on the keyboard? I got a calculator button. I got a display button. Why do I need a display button? The display is plugged in.
Cases in more than 3 weeks, with 45 new deaths reported, all of them long-term
There's a button with a picture of a display. I don't know. I don't know what that does.
Set to provide his daily update to Canadians as negotiations continue with the opposition to try and quickly pass the government's $9 billion financial aid package for students.
Markham goes high-tech, partnering with IBM to create an online platform where you can ask COVID-related questions, while Brampton continues to head
Is COVID legal in Scrabble?
Hold off on the Ryder Cup. You'll get Mike Weir's thoughts, and Man Ram still has the itch. Sports at 15.
We've got solid gains on Bay and Wall Street, with oil
Solid,
higher
it's
by
11
more than
o'clock. We
$4.
need solid.
And another Canadian retailer is pitching in to fight COVID-19. Business at 26.
Continuing news time, 11:01.
Time now for traffic and weather together
business
on the
2
ones.
hours.
Here's Jordan Kerr.
This report is
5 to go. Oh, it's solid
Watch out
gains.
for a new
You
issue
got
on
a
the
lot of, you
eastbound
could lose
401.
a
It's
lot of
just
money
east of
in the
Victoria
next
Park
5
in the
hours.
express. The right lane's blocked off with a stalled vehicle. On the westbound 401, west of Leslie, the express problems there cleared away. It looks like we still have lane restrictions on the highway.
So this is so-and-so reacted to a memory you shared. Okay, so why don't you just say so-and-so liked your memory or hated it? Why? I got to click through and find it. I can't do that.
You're anxious to start your summer.
It's almost a great idea.
Things are different. The pandemic is creating a lot of uncertainty and instability for all, including our younger students.
Shut up then if you can't do it, or turn his mic back up so we can hear both of you. You're AM, you're not stereo, motherfuckers. What is wrong with you?
Those who are still studying
I can almost hear him. I can almost hear him driving up the
work assignments have been canceled and summer jobs are becoming more and more rare.
So you're trying to translate by transliterating.
doing.
I just want to hear him talk so I know what he's saying.
For your tuition in the year ahead of you. So last week we unveiled a plan of some $9 billion to help you get through this crisis. First of all, we announced the Canadian Emergency Student Subsidy, which will give $1,250 a month each month to students over the summer. And if you're handicapped or have a dependent, you will receive even more. We also announced an investment to to create 76,000 additional jobs for students in areas that need help while fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. These jobs are added to those that are often to the Canada Student Program. Want to contribute in the fight against COVID-19? We're going to make sure you have support too. Students helping in the fight against COVID-19 this summer will soon be eligible for $1,000 to $5,000 through the new Canada Student Service Grant for volunteer hours. We're also going to be providing specific support for First Nations, Inuit, and Métis Nation students. For graduate students and those conducting research, we're going to your work can continue. And we're doubling student grants for low and middle income students for 2020.
Hey, I got news for you. You're a student. Okay, your family's rich. You are low to middle income. You're low income. You're not middle income.
Students and
what are you doing
recent
with middle
grads
income?
get through the next few months.
You're making 40 grand a year on the side.
We've been working with the opposition parties
Oh,
on
over the
legislation
table.
that will get this help
While
to
you're a
young
student,
people
like, what
as
the fuck are
quickly
you
as
talking
possible. I'll be heading to Parliament shortly, where we will introduce a bill to put the
I know
Canada
40 is not
Emergency
allowed.
Student
You got
Benefit
free health
in
care.
place.
Anything else going on?
Les dernières semaines ont été
How are you
difficiles.
middle
These
income?
last few weeks have been
This is
difficult
low
for
income
all
bus
of us in our
pass.
government.
You're riding the goddamn bus and you have a
support
pass.
teachers
You are low income. You don't need to say I need a low income pass. You just need to say I need a pass. We know you're low income, sir.
After the closure of schools, parents have suddenly become teachers, restaurateurs, music teachers, etc. And isolation is difficult for families. Therefore, we're giving a little bit of help with the child benefit and to support people who
Oh, I hate hearing these little rapper
income.
bastards that never took a music class in their life. Talking about bars. They can't tell you what a bar is.
GST tax credit. I would like to remind everybody that if you have taxes to pay, you have until the month of August to make your payment.
You and the guy that August. Okay, well, they're knocking it back. Good.
You. To help parents who've got their hands
Well,
full
that
these
gives
days,
all the accountants and tax filers
will be boosting the CCB
second,
payment
third
in
swing
May.
at the fucking play. Right?
And to help lower income Canadians, we supplemented the GST credit.
Well, once
I
it's
also
late, you
want
don't
to
bother
remind
doing it.
everyone that this year,
doing a whole bunch
if you owe
of
income tax, you have until August to make your payment.
Fuck some at $40 basically.
Yesterday, Mr. Haidu and Dr. Tam provided an update on our latest modeling. And the good news is that Canadians are stepping up to keep each other safe. In fact, in many parts of the country, the curve has flattened, so we have to keep it up. We're seeing some progress because people from coast to coast to coast are making sacrifices and following public health rules. So let's stick to it. Let's stay home, wash our hands, and when we go out, let's stay 2 meters away from others. Starting this weekend in Nova Scotia.
He's not half-stepping. He takes his role as Prime Minister. He is the Prime Minister, whether you like it or not.
Stop the spread of COVID-19.
One or the other.
As we watch the snowbirds fly over our homes, let's remember that we are all in this together.
Bro, it's fucking Wednesday. I still ain't seen no airplanes. And them suckers are loud. They're not stealth. They're function first. And then, you don't like the sound? Go live somewhere else, pussy.
Line open.
Good morning, Prime Minister. Why aren't there measurable targets and standards attached to the national guidelines for lifting restrictions, the guidelines that were released yesterday, so that people can be confident
that shit out of people that even have guns on them.
rather than other considerations?
We worked very hard with the premiers across the country to ensure that we could get guidelines that reflected the foundational science and the best advice given by medical experts and scientists on what needed to be in place before provinces or regions could think about reopening. Every region, every province, every territory is facing a very different situation right now with different industries, different size cities, and different spread of COVID-19. That's why we needed to make sure that the foundational elements
Food bank milk. You're not pouring down the goddamn guy. I would have bought it off you eventually, dumb motherfuckers.
Will act differently. But there is a common desire right across the country from all premiers to ensure that we're doing this right. Everyone understands that the danger of opening up too quickly or the wrong way could mean we come back into this situation where we are right now.
Say it again, because they're not getting that. That right there is the part nobody's fucking. That's the part people are not quite getting. Oh, everything's good, man. Look, nice weather, eh? Who the fuck are you? Oh, fuck you, buddy. What the fuck, eh? I don't know who these fucking people are, eh? I'm mocking and mimicking them, man, but that's what it sounds like to me.
Prime Minister, I'd like to talk about this agreement on the emergency benefit that wasn't reached with the other part, but do you think it'll be longer to have this policy adopted for the students, which was not the case for the
They want the students to get jobs instead of sitting at home. See the whole thing. Instead of taking the emergency money. Okay, wait. Nobody else is suddenly getting jobs they didn't already have. The students that were supposed to be in school now are supposed to get dropped. They won't pass the loan. But they're not in school. The fuck kind of bullshit is that? Crack dealers don't even do that. You don't have it. You don't have it. Like, they know you either have it or you're either holding out or you don't have it.
For the summer period. We also need to support them so that when the school year starts up, they will be able to succeed by going back to school, paying their tuition, and benefit from the work experience that they will have enjoyed this summer. That is why we're talking both about benefit for the students and also by creating summer jobs for students throughout the countries to help fight against COVID-19 and help the economy relaunch. I am confident that even though we're pursuing our negotiation with the parties, we all agree that we have to help students, and I know that we'll end up getting the deal done. Now, with regard to the Canadian Football League, we're looking at how we can support various organizations because we do recognize that it's an important issue for them, for the league, and for many Canadians, and so we're pursuing our discussions with them.
We are continuing to engage with various sectors, industries, and organizations who are facing disruptions because of COVID-19. The CFL has approached us about support. We know it's important to them. We know it's important to many Canadians. Those discussions are ongoing.
Merci. Prochaine question, opérateur.
Merci. Thank you. Prochaine question, Marie Vastel, Le Devoir.
Marie Vastel, Le Devoir newspaper.
Bonjour.
Good morning. Could you please tell us more about the salary improvements for essential workers?
I keep joking to call him Prime Minister Timberlake, but his daddy sort of
agree
is
with promises to ensure that this salary improvements would be made. You made that promise the 15th of April. It's been 2 weeks. So what's holding things up since
1965?
you seem to have agreed with provinces rather quickly for commercial rents? So obviously there's something that seems to be in the way of an agreement with the province.
Commercial Rent Assistance Program, CRAP, mother.
And who's holding things up? Well, first of all, throughout the country, all premiers recognize the importance of ensuring that our essential workers can do their job in these very difficult situations that they're facing. So the idea of improving their salaries is a good idea for everybody. But it is a complicated issue because it will be the provinces themselves that will be delivering a program, and they each have different parameters and needs and situations with regard to essential workers. So we're still working out our agreements with the various provinces. It's a little bit different than the agreement on commercial rents, which will be the same throughout the country. This salary improvement program recognizes
I'm waiting for the Trump to say, listen, we don't own anything. We've been charging you taxes illegally and rent illegally all this time. So fuck it. You don't owe us. We don't owe you. Shut up. Get back to work so we don't all starve to death. No, they won't be honest like that. They got these tax credits and deferred share buyback programs.
I'm wondering, is Canada considering mandating meat plants to stay open?
CERB. It's Serbia.
We understand how important it is to ensure the supply of food to Canadians right across the country. And we're watching with interest and concern.
Russia is the other country that claims the North Pole. Trust me, we know about Cyrillic.
Supply chains across the agricultural industry. We need to make sure that those supply chains can keep functioning, but we also need to make sure that the people who work in the supply chains will continue to need to work in difficult circumstances over the coming weeks and months as we continue to battle COVID-19 are kept safe. The priority for us is both things, keeping people safe and ensuring a good supply of food to Canadians. We will make sure we're doing them both together.
We know that it's very important to make sure that.
And you've been listening to.
Oh, come on!
Latest update, reiterating his $9 billion.
See how they force English down my fucking throat? Think I'm lying about that now?
Or plans for summer jobs.
You don't need to hear this part. He's
definitely shorter, so he can get to Parliament, where he says legislation to help students during this pandemic will be introduced today. He says the Canadian Forces Snowbirds, by the way, are going to be going across the country.
They say bilingual, like bisexual,
doing their part to stay safe. This is 680 News.
Canada's healthcare workers never expected to fight a battle like this.
One of them
Working around the
bilinguals.
clock,
Hey.
isolating from their families,
Watch
risking
you
their
don't get
lives on a
reported,
daily
eh?
basis. That's why
That's what they, hey.
leaders all
Shut
across
up.
the country come together to launch the Frontline
En
Fund.
français, buddy.
For Canadians staying at home, to arm our frontline healthcare workers with additional supplies, support, and research funding to fight COVID-19. Support Canada's Frontline by donating now. FrontlineFund.ca.
Doctors are good people and only want what's good for their patients. So if they say you can't work, I believe them, and so should your long-term disability insurer. My name is Aaron Waxman, and if your long-term disability claim has been denied, call me at 416-661-4878.
I want to see. I gotta read this shit to short. Shit
At my
to
law
short.
firm, we only
I
get
just-
paid when you get paid.
No, I know what it is. It's
You
like
should always remember that there are no bad questions. 416-661-4878
you don't hear the term
or on your cell phone at Panel
using the
LTD.
bank. Since the bank here is made, why not? A little bit
It's
of
overcast at 8 degrees right now in downtown Toronto. Good morning from the 680 News
Oh, it's not
Broadcast Center.
six
I'm
like
Steve
that.
Roberts.
Radio
Sarah
T6
Pennant, here are the top
at
stories
sea.
this hour.
Well, this province
Almost.
has now marked its smallest
Don't get
single-day
confused there. If you
gain
thought
in
this
new
was about shit,
COVID-19 cases
sure.
in
That's
weeks.
a
And our
different
Irene Precklades on the story
educational
for us
film.
will have those numbers
Produced
coming up
New
for
York,
us after
government
sports.
signed.
Also today, Markham going high-tech to help residents out in this pandemic. And as you just heard here on 680 News, the Prime Minister is set to head off to Ottawa, or not Ottawa, head off to Parliament Hill, rather, to introduce legislation to help students as part of the massive bailout of students across this country. It's now time for 680 Sports, and from Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Andrew Nye. Andrew.
Morning, Steve. The CFL has asked the feds for $150 million, including $30 million up front, and as much as $120 million more if the
flowers,
season is
candy,
lost.
gifts of all
Sportsnet's
kinds
Spendetti says
are
many
sent
team
by
officials
wire
don't
and delivered
think
on the
there's going
same
to be a
day to
2020
persons
season.
in
The
distant
Rush also
cities
told
through
Lead Up
Western
Sporting
Union's
if the league
shopping
doesn't
order
get the money,
service.
it may have to
SOS.
suspend operations. That's a legitimate possibility. Well, there's a new baseball plan, according to Bob Nightingale of USA Today.
West
Major League
Union
Baseball is
Flags,
discussing a
West
late
Union
June, early
Alphabet.
July start with 3 10-team divisions based on geography. Teams would only compete within their division to reduce travel. The Blue Jays would be in the East with all the regulars, plus the Mets, Nationals, Phillies, Pirates, and Marlins. The NCAA Board of Governors has recommended easing rule restrictions, which opens the door for potential student-athlete compensation for endorsements and promotions. If approved, it could be finalized in January and implemented in time for the 2021-2022 season. NHL Classics tonight on Sportsnet at 8 o'clock. It's Game 3 of the 87 Stanley Cup Final between the Oilers and Flyers. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
Dear Real Canadian Superstore No Frills customers, flyers are now digital only. Please know that low price commitment is still the #1 priority, and they're still providing great weekly promotions and offers. Find them in store on superstore.ca, nofrills.ca, and in the PC Optimum app.
Hey, I'm Tom Power. You might be looking for something to take your
Thanks for
mind
the
off of
leadership,
things.
bro.
Well, every Sunday, we're doing
Big
a TV
bro.
show from
Oh,
my
he's
living
not
room,
big bro.
where we talk to artists, athletes,
Dougie
frontline
Doug up there
workers,
is big
and you
bro.
just about how you're holding up. We're calling it after something we say to one
You're
another.
gonna go to
back
the
in
store
Newfoundland.
for a 6-pack. There's gonna be 5 in there.
What do
You
you
know what's
have
the
on
deal?
Sundays, 8
Oh,
p.m.
that's
on
Big Brother's
CBC
Day.
and CBC
You
Gym.
know, no more than
So join
5
me
people in
and
a
come on
group,
over.
right?
Not literally.
Move along.
Dear Real Canadian
And you're not
Superstore
gonna
No
argue.
Frills customers, flyers are now digital only.
People
Please
would
know
argue.
that low price commitment is still the #1 priority,
Don't see
and they're
them
still
around
providing
anymore.
great weekly promotions
I'm
and
not sure if
offers.
they're
Find them
hiding
in
in the
store
house.
on superstore.ca, nofrills.ca, and in the PC Optimum app. 680 News Time, 11:18.
Well, this province has now marked its smallest single-day gain in new COVID-19 cases in the last couple of weeks. Now, it comes as we learn Ontario healthcare workers have a high rate of infection.
680's Irene Prekla joins us live with the very latest. Irene.
Sarah, Ontario reporting 347 new COVID-19 cases, the smallest increase in more than 3 weeks. As a percentage day over day, a 2.3% increase. Yesterday, we saw 525 newly confirmed cases. Total number of cases now 15,728. 61% now resolved, meaning the people are better. The number of cases in healthcare workers
last week they told us that they either got better or died. That's what they fucking said, eh?
Up 45.
6,000 resolved. They said there's 5,000 funeral services waiting to happen.
Long-term care home residents.
Am I the only one putting two together? Those numbers, doesn't that sound story? Like, am I fucked up?
Now, in reopening the framework that was announced on Monday, the province says
windmills cause cancer. If you can have a cigarette up until the point you're actually old enough to buy them, then we're going to change the law again of your ass.
Stage of reopening the economy. Reporting live, Irene Prekla, 680 News.
680 News Time, 11:20. Well, Markham is going high tech to help out
residents
to me
yesterday.
Yesterday, on the story for us. Joining us live now to explain.
The same goddamn packet. I could have bought 2 of them yesterday.
With what's called the Watson.
We won't be having this conversation.
Markham Mayor Frank Scarpitti says it'll give the
stores don't even like selling cigarettes because they're dealing with cigarette addicts. Drones and the fuck have money and they still don't want
how
to
many
fucking sell them.
cases are in your region, information on safety, and much, much more. IBM Watson Assistant for Citizens will also answer your questions about some of Markham's services, such as the tax relief program that we've passed, or our garbage collection.
Now you can access this service by going to Markham's official website or a 1-800 number that they have posted up there. It's available 24/7. Reporting live,
Garbage
I'm
collection, timetable, schedule, service,
time now for traffic and weather together on the ones. And here's Jordan
locations, perhaps. Our garbage collection. You have a garbage collection.
Actually, not construction. We had a stalled vehicle east of Victoria Park.
So do I.
That just cleared
I'm going
away.
to cash it in
So no issue there anymore. On the Toronto-bound QEW, that's where we have some construction approaching Eastport and onto the Burlington Skyway. 2 left lanes are closed down. No delay through there. And watch out eastbound 403 just after Eglinton in the Express. The left lane's closed down for construction. At Highway 27 and Major Mackenzie, lanes reduced all because of downed wires. Northbound Highway 27 was closed from Major Mackenzie up to Nashville Road, all because of that. It looks like southbound traffic's getting through. You can use Islington just to the east of there as an easy alternate around this. And Major Mackenzie itself was blocked on the west side of Highway 27 because of these downed wires. No word on when this is going to be all wrapped up. We first got the call about it around 6:30 this morning. At Kennedy and Ellesmere, there are lane restrictions because of a crash investigation. The northbound, eastbound, and westbound lanes are affected. The left lane's closed in either of those directions. Southbound, all lanes are open. It's GP Bikes, no HST sale, plus up to 60% off. Open online and by phone for easy curbside pickup. Get your new motorcycle with finance rates as low as 0%. GPBikes.com, your power sports authority. Next report, 11:31 with the forecast. Denise Andriacci.
Still the chance to see a bit of scattered shower activity through the first half of the day, but the steadier rain and wet weather is expected tonight. It sticks around until Friday, midday at least. A few showers on Thursday, 5 to 10 additional millimeters of rain then. And Friday, we could still see some wet weather for the first half of the day. Highs near 17 for the 1st of May. Will start to dry up for the weekend. Your guaranteed high today, 11 degrees.
And right now in downtown Toronto, we've got a cloudy sky. We're still at 8 degrees at Pearson Airport. It is cloudy and 9. 16 News Time, 11:22.
I'm here with Bill Coy of Coy Brothers, and we're talking about the golf for nothing.
Dougie Fresh is going to be up at 12.
Just broke easy there, pal. This is a family business.
Sorry, Bill, but do you know what it's like when you put in a hard day's work and one of your pieces of equipment breaks?
I've been there, and that's why you can now purchase genuine ACCO, Kubota, and Toro parts online from Coy Brothers.
Parts like belts and filters, spark plugs, starters, and more?
You bet, and we ship fast.
Put a part in your cart at
KOOYBROS.com.
You're listening to All News Radio. This is 680 News. Briefly, in some other news today, the Ontario Fire Marshal is now investigating a fatal fire in Pickering this morning. Emergency crews got called to a home on Fawndale Road near Altona and Kingston Road around 4:30 this morning. One woman was pronounced dead at the scene. 2 other people suffered what's described as non-life-threatening injuries in that one. Still no word on the cause of the fire. The Fire Marshal's office has been called in to investigate. And while the NBA hopes to finish their season and crown a champion, at least one team has moved on to next year.
Other white people that actually run everything called those white people.
You know the name Steve Kerr, the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, who Toronto beat for the title a year ago. It's believed the NBA will at least try to get playoffs in somehow over the summer, but what about finishing the regular season? Kerr, whose Warriors are nowhere near the playoffs this year, had these thoughts on a conference call with the University of San Francisco.
It feels like the end of the season for our team. There's still a chance the league could ask us to come back and play some games, but we're staying in touch with guys, but everybody is just sort of assuming that this is kind of it. We're not
your racist views were hypocrisy.
The Warriors were hammered by injuries and had the league's worst record when play stopped. NBA teams are hoping some practice facilities can open at the end of next week. I'm Simon Bennett.
This portion of 680 News for lessmess.ca. Coming up in 60 seconds, a winning streak on Bay Street continues. Chris McCusker with details ahead.
You're listening
to how about quarter ton of back guano, quarter ton of cow manure, quarter ton of sheep manure,
your living
quarter
room.
ton of peat
Now
moss.
it's time to get outside and tackle the garden.
I need
During
to
this
dump
time,
that
it's time to get the soil and resources you
City
need.
Hall
So lessmess.ca
right
has made it
in
easier
that
and safer to get
pond
topsoil,
thing
mulch,
making folks
compost,
good. Ice rink
sand,
thing.
and stone delivered to your home with the
Mountain
Less Mess
stump
Enviro
already.
Bag.
That's
Not only do you
what
get
it is.
nutrient-rich
So
soil in
it
a
is
sealed
the
Less Mess
Yeah,
Enviro
with the
Bag,
city,
but lessmess.ca offers quick,
with the
no
crew.
contact
Yeah,
delivery
with
to
the
keep
crew.
everything
Can't
safe
tell, I
and
got the orange
secure.
jumpsuit and
Visit
everything.
lessmess.ca and get into your garden.
You know how it goes. Jack and Sarah in a world of their own.
Oh, that would
Cindy
stink
spends
so
the night
bad.
texting. Gets up for a good time. Oh, and Greg does the
Not
rolling.
would fill the whole fucking thing, but it would stink up the whole fucking place.
But did you know that drivers impaired by cannabis or other drugs pose the same dangers and face the same penalties as those impaired by alcohol? License suspension, criminal record, fines, even jail time. Plan ahead. A message.
Tell me something new, Brethren. You're not fucking discouraged me yet. You just told me I might as well, because you're gonna fucking do it to me anyway, so I might as well. I'm not be calm while I'm driving. People are yelling and screaming, I'm sober! Screaming. What the fuck? Shut up. You're on your phone for some reason.
15,000, I am happy to report. Right now up by 352 points, 15,150. So that's a gain of 2.3%. We've got shares in Roots right now up by 24% to $1.13 a share. So the company has announced the liquidation of its U.S. subsidiary, permanently closing at least 4 stores amid the pandemic. Now, 2 stores in the U.S. will stay open, and it will continue to maintain an e-commerce presence. The company also announced that it's repurposing its leather factory to make non-medical masks, and it will donate 3,000 medical masks to healthcare facilities. As well, the company reported earnings, fourth quarter adjusted earnings per share of 31 cents versus 53 cents last year. So that stock providing a lift. Going the other way, we've got gold down by $9, $17.12, and then oil is higher by about $4 right now, $16.30. That's a jump of 32%. So the latest supply report in the U.S. did show a build in crude supplies, but it was smaller than expected. And then major producers also talking about production cuts, including Russia. Greg Taylor is the CIO at Purpose Investments.
Oil is really symptomatic of what's going on in the broader commodity market, given the slowdown and shutdown of different economies. Certainly, there is no demand right now for oil and a lot of other commodities, and it's really hard to turn off these wells once they're going. So there's so much supply coming out, there's no demand right now, so the storage is full, and that's caused a lot of these commodities to really go down, press rate levels down. Now we're seeing a bit of a bounce, but that's more of, I think, the structure around the commodities. Until the economies open up and demand really picks up, I think oil will be under pressure.
And with oil higher, the Canadian dollar's up by 0.4 cents, 71.85 cents U.S. Stateside, we've got the Dow higher by 529 points. The S&P is up by 68 points, and the Nasdaq higher by 265. So that is a jump of 3%. So that means the Nasdaq continues to lead the way on a percentage basis, with the biggest move to the upside, at least the way it stands right now. Later on today, we are going to get an announcement from the U.S. Federal Reserve, although it's not likely to involve anything around interest rates, with rates already near zero. I'm Chris McCusker. This is 680 News.
Hi, it's Tony Chapman, host of the podcast Chatter That Matters. Thanks to the incredible support of RBC, we're focusing on the heart of the Canadian economy, small businesses. Lisa Taylor creates Challenge Factory to answer this question.
What is the mental health aspect of coming into a job knowing it's not exactly what you want to be doing, but feeling like you have to keep at it?
Welcome to the
becomes a successful research-based consultancy, helping clients create productive and purposeful cultures. And then COVID-19 arrives.
Here's the company star. We'll open you an account right away. No worries.
Our experts arrive with advice for Lisa and for all of us. Download Chatter That Matters wherever you get your podcasts. And thanks again to RBC
Oh my soul to the company star.
And find out what to wear. The best weather reports in the city every 10 minutes on 680 News.
There was a light here, obviously.
We are expecting scattered rain throughout the day today. A guaranteed high of 11 degrees. A little more rain, though, overnight expected as well. For tomorrow, some rain up to 10 millimeters and a guaranteed high of 15.
10 millimeters.
And looking at Friday right now, we're looking at a few showers early in the day and then mostly cloudy with a high of 16 degrees. Right now in downtown Toronto, it's overcast for the most part. The rain's still holding off, and we've got a temperature this hour of 8. 680 News Time at the
side effect of using stainless steel is it is reflective.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Sarah.
So that looks more green. It looks much darker in terms of purple.
Wednesday, April 29th.
And good morning. Here's what's making news this hour.
The light's sort of washing it out to just green. But it's very
new confirmed COVID-19 cases, the lowest one-day increase in weeks, and for the first time, more than 60% of all cases are resolved.
Markham is using artificial intelligence to provide COVID-19 help, teaming up with IBM to offer 24/7 answers for people who have questions.
With May 1st on Friday, a new survey finds 1 in 5 tenants across Canada can't afford to pay their rent.
Baseball considers a new plan for its 2020 season, and the NCAA now open to
you need to switch from math back to crack, bro. That's for real.
We got sizable gains on
go from like 10 grand a day back to about 500.
Later on today, and oil sees a healthy gain. Business at 56.
680 News Time, 11:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Jordan Kerr.
I found
this report's brought to you by 407 ETR. Not too much going on out there. It's not a lot of construction today, but still a little bit on the Toronto-bound QEW approaching the eastport. The 2 left lanes are closed off because of road work. The same work they've been doing on the bridge for the past couple of weeks.
Second half of the month, I got
luckily, it's not causing any delays, so it's not slowing you down either. On the westbound 401 around Bathurst, just before the long-term lane realignment in the collectors, the right lane's closed off for construction, so be careful through there. Again, no delay. The eastbound 401 east of Victoria Park Express, problems there cleared up, and we still have ongoing issues at Kennedy and Ellesmere. There are lane restrictions because of a crash investigation. There's a pedestrian struck here. Northbound Kennedy and east and westbound Ellesmere left lane blocked off in those directions. The traffic is able to get through.
That's why I don't fuck around with this phone call, because I won't get
ETR, thanks you for continuing to follow social distancing rules. Together we can beat the COVID-19 virus. 407ETR.com. Next report, 11:41 with the forecast. Denise Andriacci.
Slight chance of showers through the day today. We will see some periods of steady rain tonight. The winds are strong out of the east today. More active weather for Thursday, Friday.
You're guaranteed $9.99.
degrees.
And right now downtown, overcast conditions continue. 8 degrees in the city's core, 9 and cloudy out at Pearson. 680 News Time, 11:32.
15 megabits. It's supposedly 10 megabits.
When it comes to new cases of COVID-19 in Ontario, which has recorded one of the slowest single-day jumps in the last several weeks.
Now, unfortunately, though, the hardest hit continues to be long-term care homes, both those who live there and those who work there. Our Irene Precklin has been following the story for us, joining us live now with those new numbers. Irene.
Steve, Ontario reporting 347 new COVID-19 cases today. That brings the province's total to 15,728, a 2.3% increase over the previous day, the lowest growth rate in weeks. The number of cases and healthcare workers, 2,100
years.
193. That's almost
already set up to pay
14% of all
itself.
confirmed cases.
They don't take no
On
money
the
from my
positive
account. They don't
side,
allow
more than
that because my bank
60%
charges
of the
me
total cases are
$50.
ones that have been resolved, meaning
You're a
that
penny
people
short. Now you
are
owe
now better.
$45. Hey,
45
wait a
more
second. I
deaths
didn't have a
reported
penny.
today.
You
There
want
have
to
been a
take
total of
$45?
996 deaths. The majority of the deaths
That's a lot
among long-term care
Even
home
crack dealers
residents.
don't do that
The
shit.
number
I
of
see, that's
people
what
in
I'm talking
hospital
about.
with COVID-19 rose, though the amount of people in the intensive care and on ventilators decreased slightly. Reporting live, Irene Preglett, 680 News.
A total of 47 residents have died during a COVID-19 outbreak at Orchard Villa Long-Term Care Home in
How
Pickering.
many of them are
The home has been one of the hardest hit
like,
in the province, with a total of
they worked in the
245
factories, or they
cases
were the
among
wife
residents.
of, or like,
Orchard
you see what I'm
Villa
saying?
is one of
That's
5
those
GTA long-term care
generations.
residences, with the province
I
requested
take pictures
military
of the sewer
assistance.
grates and other infrastructure that has
You're listening
dates
to
on it.
Toronto's only
Over
all-news
100
radio
years
station.
old.
This is 680 News. Well, as Brampton continues to deal with people
Somewhere
breaking
from
those
the
physical
1800s.
distancing rules,
Still in
Markham
place,
is now
serving
going to use
purpose. Why
artificial
pull it out? It's still
intelligence to
working.
keep its residents informed when it comes to COVID-19. 680's Momin Qureshi joining us live with more on what the GTA cities are doing during this pandemic. Momin.
Brampton Markham
mastering Call of
teaming up with
Duty.
IBM for what's
We're
called
gonna
a
be the
Watson
most
Assist for
cyber-fucking
citizens
Call of
to
Duty
create a
squad in
platform
the
both
fucking
online and
world.
over the phone using artificial intelligence that'll help people answer their
412.
questions that they may have about COVID-19. Here's Markham Mayor Frank Scarpitti.
As we continue to deliver essential municipal services to the people of Markham, this virtual agent will prove to be an extremely useful tool during this public health emergency. In fact, I would like to describe it as a critical and necessary tool.
How come this Windows logo button don't do nothing on this Android box?
Brampton Mayor Patrick
If
Brown
somebody
says
working on this
some people
Android
out there
system
breaking those
put in an
physical
Easter egg
distancing
thinking, hey,
rules.
what if?
There was 5 house
I would
parties
put
that
an Easter
resulted
egg
in 13 different charges. Now is not the time to be hosting a party at your house for friends. We need people to be keeping their distance. There was 2 gatherings on parking lots. Just because you can't hold the party at your home, it doesn't mean you can hold the party in a parking lot. And charges were laid in 2 instances for social gatherings on parking lots.
And Brown warns the cherry blossoms are about to bloom in Brampton. He's telling people to stay away from that park. So if you really want to see if they're going to post photos of those cherry blossoms online. Reporting live, I'm Momin Qureshi.
680 News Time, 11:35. A day after holding their first ever virtual meeting, a limited number of MPs will be back in the House of Commons today to deal with the federal government's massive support package for students. Prime Minister is hoping to pass the legislation quickly, as we hear from our Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney.
The Liberals are looking for rapid approval of their wide-ranging financial assistance package for students and young people, which includes a new monthly student benefit of $1,250 a month.
And these guys get a fucking pass because 50 years from now, hey, what did you want from me? COVID, public health crisis, what did you want from me?
But they'll likely have to make some changes in order to deal with this quickly in the House of Commons. It needs unanimous consent to avoid lengthy proceedings.
The worst thing they can do right now is not hand out the money faster.
Are looking for amendments. Those negotiations are ongoing. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister says the government is concerned about the closure of some meat plants due to COVID-19, and he says the government is working to make sure we maintain our food supply.
Priority for us is both things, keeping people safe and ensuring a good supply of food to Canadians. We will make sure we're doing them both together.
Justin Trudeau also says the government is in talks with the CFL over its request to get $150 million in financial aid through this pandemic. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill. Funding survey shows that 1 in 5 tenants are now unable to pay their rent during this pandemic, according to the national survey from Acorn. 70% of respondents have been impacted financially by the virus. Only 42% actually qualify for federal aid. The tenant advocacy group is calling on the federal and provincial governments to offer higher rent subsidies and institute rent freezes during this current crisis.
Facilities live in the same country where people are eating
Businesses are
this
reporting the
food.
revenues have plummeted by 40% due to the pandemic.
More so than some
Statistics Canada
Brazilians
says the
give a fuck about
retail,
what the
accommodation,
cow
and
eats that
food
they're
services
shipping to you.
sectors are among the hardest
That's all in
hit.
cans.
The
It's the how's it getting
suggests
inspected?
nearly
It's
1
in
in
cans.
5
What are they
businesses
actually
have laid off
doing? Camera
80% or more of their workforce. But more than 60% of businesses say they could reopen or return to normal operations less than 1 month after physical distancing measures and other restrictions are lifted.
In the U.S. now, with Illinois and Florida recording their highest single-day death count so far in this pandemic, other states just the opposite, now moving towards plans to reopen.
This morning, puts the country back in business. Georgia setting the pace with restaurants now welcoming customers to sit down and have a meal. Beauty salons also reopening. California says it's weeks away, not months, from easing restrictions, while New York's governor is also looking for a path forward.
This should not be a political discussion. It shouldn't be a philosophical discussion. Shouldn't be because people are protesting.
And Simon Property Group, one of the nation's largest mall owners, now says it plans to
Trump's
open
gonna win
49
again,
of their malls around the
Trump
country
is gonna win it. Like it's
Inez
for
Zalipatera,
it's
ABC
like
News,
done.
Washington.
It's a done deal.
Well, troubling times for the province's funeral home operators.
It's
Social
just crazy.
distancing
It's
measures
just
are leading to
fucking
even
minds with
more
crazy
stress
fucking
than
hair.
what could typically be expected
I can't
when
call him a
dealing
white
with
guy.
the
Like
passing
he's a
of
white guy,
loved
right?
one.
But he's like
With
not
a
like
backlog
he's
from
not like
memorials
any
and an
regular ass
increase in the
white
number
boy.
of services due to deaths
White
related to
boys are like, come on, man,
COVID-19.
get it
Mike
together.
Epple
Look at
reports
you.
from the 680 Business Center.
The funeral home industry says the
orange,
sad reality of the pandemic is an
You should be
increase
wearing
in
the fucking
demand for
jumpsuit,
memorial
picking up garbage,
services,
setting
but
goddamn
with the
roads
sector
for clown
not
shoes and a
deemed
nose, buddy.
essential by the province and social distancing.
Yeah,
measures
you're
affect
fired
many
too, buddy. Like
families
seriously,
are
no, he's gonna win
delaying plans
again.
for
I
those
don't care
memorial
either way.
services. The funeral home operators say they may need to change how services are conducted to deal with a backlog, including more evening funerals, in addition to those typically held in the daytime. The industry also dealing with a shortage of personal protective equipment, making it that much more challenging. The current emergency orders restrict funerals to less than 10 people
I
gathered.
don't want to be
Burials
embalmed,
and
man.
cremations
You
have
put me in a
continued,
cardboard
with
box,
some
big box.
crematoriums
Okay. I
having
don't
to
want to be
extend their
embalmed. I
hours
don't
to
want the
keep
wood to
pace.
stay
The
with your
representative from the Ontario Funeral Services
If any metal
Association
is
tells the
simple
National
steel,
Post
it'll just
there
rust
could be as
away.
many as 5,000 memorial services
By a
waiting to
cow
be held
collected by a magnet
from just
for
the past 6
slaughter.
weeks. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Epple.
And Toronto's Associate Medical Officer of Health will be answering all your COVID-19 questions this afternoon. Dr. Vanina Dubé will be taking part in a live video interview on our website and our Facebook page starting at 12:30 this afternoon. You can submit your questions in the chat window on our website or even on Twitter using the hashtag COVIDAnswers.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will not change at midnight, staying at 81.9 cents a liter.
680 News Time, 11:40.
A little bit more green. This one is purple.
Who knows how long? Let's take stock. TV, check.
Red,
Snacks,
purple, orangey,
You
red,
better believe it.
purple.
What about a con artist, food scientist, a
It looks like some type of chocolate topping on a cake that I don't want the cake, but I want.
You're in luck.
I'm just going to scoop the topping off. And I'll eat the cake, it's a matter of course.
Week without ever leaving the couch. Hot Docs at Home on CBC. Thursdays at 8 on CBC and CBC Gem.
This is all perfectly legal,
It's
right?
news time, 11:41. Time for traffic and weather together.
Unless I like blow the smoke through the money
This
and
report
then
is brought to you by CAMH
contaminated
Foundation.
with drugs
We
and
have
disease.
construction on the Toronto Valley
You have to
QEW
use
approaching Eastport onto the
allergen-free
Burlington
soap to
Skyway.
wash it.
They're closing
and
up
the
an
dishwasher
extra
will
lane,
sanitize
so this is going to jam up soon. Approaching
gonna go
Eastport, the
fucking jail.
3 left lanes are now closed off for construction. It
Try to pay
always
bail
slows
with that
down when
money
they close
you
off
try
this
to
extra
get
lane
checked
through
to the
here. So the
judge.
next few minutes,
And
we're going to
RCB
start seeing
comes
that
in
get
skills.
slow. So keep that in mind and plan accordingly.
Let's
They
do it.
usually have that set up for the rest of the afternoon.
I don't
If
do
you're
it, man.
traveling on
Money's
the
just-
other highways and expressways, no other issues to pass along, with the exception of one issue on one of the minor highways, Highway 27. On northbound Highway 27, we had all lanes blocked off from Major Mackenzie to Nashville, and Major Mackenzie blocked off on the westbound on the west side of Highway 27, all because of downed wires in the area. You can use Islington just to the east of there as an easy alternate to get around this. For mental health tips and resources, visit
Like the wires were flying to Michigan, and they almost
CAMH.ca/COVID-19.
made
A
a home
message
in
from
the couch
the Center
stop.
for Addiction and Mental Health. Next
They were
report,
down.
11:51.
Did you
With
see
the
those
forecast,
wires, dog? They were
Denise
up there, now they're
Andriacci.
down.
Still the chance to see a bit of
They were
scattered shower
down. No,
activity
they were,
through the first
they're
half of the
down.
day, but the steadier
Dog,
rain
I
and
know
wet
how to
weather
say
is
it. I was
expected
listening to
tonight.
the
It
thing you
sticks
weren't even
around
listening
until
about.
Friday, midday at least. A few showers on Thursday,
Where's
5
this
to 10
fucking fighter?
additional
Did I
millimeters of
not
rain
hear?
then.
I don't
And
see how I
Friday, we could
missed
still
them.
see some wet weather for the first half
Like, did
of
I
the day.
not
Highs near
office? Even if I
17
did, I
for the
would have
1st
dreamt
of
about
May.
that
Will start
noise. You
to
can't
dry up for
escape
the
that
weekend.
noise.
Your guaranteed high today, 11 degrees. Right now in
Well, it's
downtown
bad. It's a lot
Toronto,
of
we're
people-
cloudy,
it's not
8
bad.
degrees. It's cloudy
A
and
lot of
9
people
at
have
Pearson
faced some of
Airport.
their fears.
680 News Time,
They come from
11:42.
places where those planes,
Now the
those
dynamic
sounds
funds
are
market
followed by
minute live from the
boom,
business
boom,
center. Here's
Chris McCusker.
Well, Sarah, we've still got a good-looking session on both sides of the border. The NASDAQ is still leading the way on a percentage basis, up by about 3%. The S&P is higher by 71 points, and the Dow up by 505.
Everything by twos.
Well, the TSX is higher for a fourth straight day, up by 355, 15,153. And it would be a lot better on Bay Street were it not for the gold stocks. Gold itself down by $6, 17.15. Oil is higher by $3.79. 16.13 a barrel. That's a jump of 31%. And the Canadian dollar up by a third of a cent, 71.77 cents US. At the Basement Center, Chris McCusker.
In times like these, we could all use advice, especially when it comes to investing. Advice matters.
The ounces are bigger, but there's only 12 of them.
Speak to a financial advisor and learn more at dynamic.ca/advice.
Hi, I'm Sean O'Brien, President and CEO of Reliance Home Comfort. Despite everything that's going on, we know that some of you may still need air conditioning, hot water, or plumbing help. I'd like to personally assure you that as an essential service, we're not only here for you 24 hours a day, every day, but also taking steps to make every visit safe for you, your family, and our team. We're grateful to our customers and indebted to our team members at Reliance.
Plumber has been around so long on the side of the truck. It says drains cleared by electric machine.
How cute!
That's a good slogan.
But with an unpredictable high and delayed effects.
I don't want to even hesitate to do. I don't want to treat you guys like amateurs. You're not gonna have a guy like manually cranking that shit. Right? You got a machine, right?
Pretty much
of course, but we only do it by hand crank for special orders if they really want us to do it that way. Like back in the
Learn how to
day.
talk with your kids about cannabis edibles at drugfreekidscanada.org.
But even then, they bring the electric machine with them just in case. Yeah, we do it by electric machine, bro.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It's cloudy in downtown Toronto, 8 degrees. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Sarah Parrott. Here are the top stories this hour. Ontario is reporting 347 new COVID-19 cases today, and that's the smallest increase in several weeks. The province is also recording 45 new deaths today, all of whom were long-term care residents. Meantime, provincial data finds 1 in 7 Ontario residents who have tested positive for the virus are healthcare workers. A small number of MPs are heading into the House of Commons today for the first weekly in-person sitting. On the docket,
You should invite in some fucking school kids on these free iPads.
The Conservatives want changes that would ensure the legislation includes incentives for young people to take available jobs rather than stay home and collect emergency aid.
Ever, right? Okay.
680 News Time.
No, we can get away with it. It's just better if we don't push
from
that.
Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Andrew Nye.
Sarah, the 2020 Ryder Cup is scheduled for late September, but Count Mike Weir among those who think they should hold off. Weir told Good Show fans have so much influence on the tournament, and players talk about the pressure they feel on the first tee with the huge grandstand on top of them. Weir says a Ryder Cup without fans would be very strange and wouldn't have the same energy. He thinks it should be postponed and try again next year. The NCAA is moving forward with a plan to allow student athletes to earn money for endorsements and other activities involving personal appearances and social media. The board-supported plan gives athletes the ability to cash in on their names, images, and likenesses. It's expected to be approved in time for the 2021-22 season. Major League Baseball reportedly now targeting late June, early July for a start to the 2020 season.
That'll never come off.
USA Today says the latest pitch is 3 divisions, 10 teams in each based on their geographic location, and only play within that division to limit travel. Baseball's Hall of Fame induction ceremony is expected to be postponed. It was scheduled for July 26th. Former Red Sox slugger Manny Ramirez wants to return to pro baseball in Taiwan, where he played 5 years ago. He turns 48 next month. And the New York Knicks are keeping Scott Perry as general manager on a 1-year deal.
Windmills cause cancer. That's cool,
anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
How much money would you like to save just by doing something you're already doing?
Cigarettes and the pesticide to spray on tomatoes.
How about 30%? With Allstate, safe drivers can save 30% just by
agree
doing
on it,
something they're
and we
already
can all
doing.
pick our dose.
Driving safe. That's right, 30% just by driving safe. Visit allstate.ca or call a local agent for a quote today and see just how
everything
much you can
is in English, then in French.
save with Allstate.
Search Save 30% with Allstate for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
First, your disability insurance denies your long-term
just to that
disability
point
claim,
in school,
and then
and
the
they switched
employer
it
threatens to
English.
fire you if you don't return to work. Sound familiar? My name is Aaron Waxman, and if your disability insured denies your disability claim for any reason, or if your employer threatens to fire you because you're too sick to work, call me 416-661-4878. And don't worry about upfront legal fees, because there are none. At my law firm, we only get paid when you get paid. And before you call, you should always remember that there are no bad questions.
It's 24 ounces, 7-Eleven, 24 ounces, $2.25.
LTD.
So that didn't cost me $11. That cost me like
Radio 680 News.
$8.
It's 11:48. One
Another
woman
one
is
will be
dead and 2 others have been hurt
Another
in
one
an
will be
early morning
$6
house fire in Pickering. The fire broke out on Fawndale Road. That's near Altona and Kingston Roads around 4:30 this morning. Pickering Fire says 3 people were in the home at the time. The woman was pronounced dead on scene. The 2 others suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The cause of the fire is not known.
They're biting me aggressively.
In the U.S., nearly 70 residents at a veterans home in Massachusetts have died from COVID-19 as state and federal officials investigate the deadliest outbreak at a long-term care facility in the States.
Pictures of the veterans that died sit on the front lawn of the Holyoke Soldiers Home where vets continue to die, and investigators ask if they were denied proper medical care. Nurse Joan Miller says the coronavirus spread like wildfire.
I do believe it is from the transferring of the vets from unit to unit, as well as the floating of staff from unit to unit. And in the beginning, we were not given the proper PPEs.
Now 81 employees are positive, along with 82 of the remaining residents.
We're used to
And in the beginning, let me just throw it in there. We weren't going to shut up. You were doing all sorts of other shit wrong.
The home superintendent placed on administrative
PPE would help you, not the old
officials knew
people.
of the problems. I'm Julie Walker.
Critics are calling out U.S. Vice President Mike Pence, the head
My
of the Trump
grandfather would
administration's
kick your, both
coronavirus
my
task
grandfathers
force,
would kick your
for
ass. My
publicly
grandmother would
defying health
fucking shoot you. You
protocols at
think
one
I'm
of the
telling the
nation's
truth
most
backwards.
prestigious hospitals.
I'll take that.
ABC's Kenneth Moten has more.
My grandmother could come back from one day. She would come back with a gun. I know. I'd do it if you let me carry a tool. Well, you did really good for a long time. Hey, just one shot, one kill, okay?
Been deleted, the Mayo Clinic said it had informed the vice president of the masking policy prior to his arrival.
Since I don't have the coronavirus, I thought it'd be a good opportunity for me to be here,
still
to be able to speak to these
vector.
researchers, these incredible healthcare
Somebody else's
personnel.
droplets can get on you, and you can re-dropletize them, or whatever the fucking name is.
Pence says he's tested
That's
for
like
the
saying
virus
the bed
on
bug
a
doesn't spread
regular
disease. No,
basis.
it doesn't. But if you smash
And
it, the blood
officials are
inside it
urging
will.
people to calm their excitement about the possibility of a COVID-19 vaccine
that would
being
be
ready
19.
quickly.
So you've been reading
My
about
fault.
vaccines that sound promising in the fight against COVID-19.
Reflexes
The university
and
study here, a
smash them
scholarly
in.
article there.
Open wound.
Dr. Richard Besser,
Jeez.
president and CEO of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation and former head of the CDC, says don't get too excited about any of them.
None of these vaccines have been used in
Wasn't
people,
biting me.
have
They
been shown
don't.
to be
They've never
safe
bit me.
and
Their
effective
legs
against
touch me and irritate my
coronavirus. So
skin.
I worry that some of these releases are more about stock price than they really are about science.
One of the human trials being done at Oxford won't even be complete until September at the earliest. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
680 News Time, 11:51.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Jordan Kerr.
Well, this report is brought to you by
EF
Roto-Rooter.
minus
Well, just
9,
keeping an eye on the Toronto-bound QEW over the Burlington
Not
Skyway
these
right
yet.
now. It's already
Yeah,
starting
yeah.
to slow down because of construction on the Toronto-bound QEW approaching Eastport onto the
Okay, I
Burlington
gotta roll
Skyway.
this
The
now. I gotta
3
get
left
this
lanes are now
lit
closed
before.
up. Only the right lane
Think
getting
they'll
through
do it right
because
at
of road
fucking
work
12?
they're doing
They might as
today.
well.
That's it for major
Pick the
issues on the
goddamn
highways and
time.
expressways, or at least the major ones. We do have a minor issue on
Whenever
one
you
of the minor
can, keep
highways.
public up
That's
to date.
northbound
Yeah, except-
Highway 27 blocked off of Major Mackenzie
Speaking when
because
we're
of down
listening, we're
wires.
tuning
And
in.
Major
You're
Mackenzie
not there
itself is
when
closed
we're
off on the west
the
side of
next
Highway
hour or
27
two.
because of those
Okay,
down
well,
wires as well. No word on when
not
this is
really
going to be all
working, but I
sorted
can't
out.
just
But
sit here either,
Islington,
you know.
a really good and easy alternate for north and southbound
I'm
traffic.
doing this.
Some more good news
Go back and
at
listen to
Kennedy
this
and
shit.
Ellesmere. Problems there have
Say,
all cleared
remember,
up.
trouble of
Everything's
fucking
open.
hearing it
Roto-Rooter
themselves,
is
right?
fully prepared to continue to serve you in this difficult time to help with any of your drain, plumbing, or disinfection needs. Contact them 24/7 online at rotorooter.com.
You
Next
bleach the
report,
whole
12:01
house.
with the forecast.
No, I mean, can
Here
you
is
like
Denise
plug the
Andrew.
drains and
Still the
flood it
chance
with
of seeing
bleach
a bit
and
of
then
wet weather,
unplug the
kind of
drains and let
pushing
it
it out
flush
of
out?
the GTA on and off
I
through
got
the
a
day
messy house,
scattered,
though.
and then more steady rain
Can you do it with your
tonight,
eyes
lows
closed?
near 10
'Cause I don't really
degrees.
want you seeing it
More
till
wet
after
weather
you bleach it.
Thursday near 10 millimeters with highs near 14, and some more
10
showers for Friday
millimeters.
morning, at least into the
Centimeters,
early
real
afternoon,
close
but
to
warm
accurate.
Friday
So
near
3/8 of an
17
inch.
and almost 20 degrees for the first weekend of May. Dry conditions expected both Saturday and Sunday.
3/8 of an inch of rain, I think you can have.
degrees.
And right
2
now,
millimeters of
downtown
rain,
Toronto
you
is
can't have.
overcast and
That's
8. We got
bullshit.
overcast conditions at 9 out of Pearson.
Coming up at the top of the hour, the latest on the province reporting its smallest daily increase in the number of new COVID-19 cases. Ontario reporting 347 new infections today, as well as 45 new deaths, all of whom were long-term care residents.
680 News Time, 11:53.
At BDO Debt Solutions, they know that life is full of unexpected events that can weaken your financial well-being. Many people who come to BDO for help had to go through tough times and take on debt in order to survive. If you're experiencing difficulty, a BDO licensed insolvency trustee can provide a free initial consultation and offer you services over the phone to explain all your debt relief options and help you find a solution that works for you and your family. Call 1-855-BDO-DEBT to book a free over-the-phone consultation.
News
is always changing.
now more than ever.
Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day.
This is 680 News.
Ask to play us on your smart speaker.
This is 680 News. The Canadian Football League is asking the federal government for up to $150 million in financial assistance due to the pandemic. Prime Minister Justin
Don't blame the
Trudeau says
pandemic.
he's
People
looking at
already
the
weren't
request
watching. I don't know when
through
your
the same
season
lens
starts.
the
bro.
government
I
is using
grew
to
up next
assess
to your
requests
damn stadium.
from other businesses.
We are continuing
I
to
know more about
engage
the
with
Wolfpack than I do
various
about you
sectors,
motherfuckers.
industries, and organizations
That
who are
ain't
facing
right.
disruptions because of COVID-19. The CFL has approached us about support. We
Approached
know it's
us.
important to them. We know it's important
Some
to
big
many
dudes
Canadians.
try to
Those
corner you in
discussions
the
are
hallway,
ongoing.
Justin.
The league's regular season starts in June.
They
That
touch you,
starts in
Justin,
June
or
has
they
been
just say that
postponed,
they
and there's no
recorded you?
timeline for when or if the play will begin. CFL commissioner told the Canadian press the league hasn't given up
I'm
on
not quite
staging a
suggesting he's not
2020
a vulnerable
season,
person.
but it has postponed the start
He's
of
not
training
logistical,
camps,
and he's
which were to
not,
open next month.
Municipality.
And good news for coffee lovers.
I'm not quite
Starbucks
fuck off
Canada
with it.
says customers will have access to more
Triple
stores
master,
starting this
technically.
week. The company says it's preparing to resume operations in as many stores as possible by the end of May. The rollout will begin with stores offering only drive-through delivery and pickup service. From there, the company will expand services to curbside pickup or walk-in orders
No, you
on a
assholes thought you were
community-by-community
better than all the
basis.
drug dealers and houses. You know,
Coming
I
up
got a
in
real
business
job.
news
I
in 60
grind.
seconds,
Yeah,
oil providing a lift to Bay and Wall Street.
680 News Time,
No, you're not doing it right.
Ontario's doctors
Adapting
are ready to
all that
look
shit.
after your healthcare needs by
You
telephone
still think you're
and
better than
video.
everybody. You're not better.
These
I'm
virtual
working in
visits
this.
are covered by OHIP, so you
Why?
don't pay
Like, what are you
out-of-pocket
producing? Are you
fees.
dumping milk down
Your family
drains?
physician will
I wish
provide
that guy
the
didn't go
care
to
you
work that
need
day.
from the comfort and safety of your home. Call your
I
doctor's
wish he had
office to
skipped work,
schedule an
called his
appointment.
buddies and said, hey,
For more
you should go
information,
steal some
visit
milk today because I'm not going to be at work.
virusfacts.ca. This message is
Because
brought
that
to you
would
by
have
the
been more
Ontario Medical
effective to the
Association.
economy and the well-being
At
of the
Tim
society
Hortons,
than
we're proud
dumping
to
it down
serve
the
all of our
fucking drain.
communities across Canada. And we're thinking about you. That's why we've made some changes recently. So for a limited time, we're offering you free delivery from Uber Eats and Skip the Dishes. Tim Hortons.
Yeah, unless it doesn't
proudly
work.
serving our communities.
Oh, there's a Tim Hortons cup there. There's,
Now the 680 News Business Report. Here's
It's on
Chris
top.
McCusker.
Well, Sarah, we've got
on
North
top.
American
It
markets
is
moving
like
higher, even
always
after new
fresh.
data
You know,
was released
Canadians,
in
we're
the
always
U.S.
fresh,
So
bro.
that economy
Watch the
contracted
girl.
at a
You let your girl go to
4.8%
Canada by
annualized rate in the
herself.
first
Brethren.
quarter,
Are you
which
stupid?
confirms the
Jesus.
recession is underway.
Tell
We
him,
will
bro.
also hear
No,
from the
this
U.S.
guy,
Federal
I can't
Reserve
even deal
at
with
2 this afternoon. Greg Taylor is the CIO at Purpose Investments.
I think what we're looking for from the Fed is really some comments around quantitative easing and some of the other programs that they can launch in addition to the ultra low rates. Certainly, they shouldn't be cutting rates anymore. All central banks globally have really
You
cut
got
to it as
even
low
the Prime
as they
Minister's
can,
girl
or
is hitting it up with
hopefully
rock
they will go.
stars.
It's also going to be about just
I don't have to make this shit up. I just have to remember it.
special programs on how long quantitative easings of Biden bonds will last, and just what signs they're looking for to when they can start normalizing.
So having said all of that,
Normalize.
the Dow is
Isn't that
higher
when
by
you decide that all this
557,
new
the
shit
S&P up
is
by 67,
now
and the Nasdaq higher by
the new routine?
272. So the
Isn't that what it is?
Nasdaq
Like you
still
paint
the big
your house
winner
from
in North
blue to
America with
orange,
a
and
gain of
after a week, it's
3.1%.
orange.
Not to be
orange
outdone,
house.
TSX is higher for a fourth
Friends
straight
go to,
day.
hey, what
It's
happened to
up
the
by
blue? You go to blue.
363.
Oh, yeah, it used to be blue.
15,161. Time now for the Express Gold Refining XAU.ca gold price update. Gold is not helping today. It's down by $6.
17.16, but oil is helping. Right now it's up by $3.61, $15.95 a barrel. So that's a jump of 29%. The Canadian crude index is up 27%, and then Western Canadian Select higher by 50%. Shares in Husky Energy up by 9.5%, or 35 cents now, $4.01 a share, even as the company reported a $1.7 billion loss in its latest quarter, caused by what it calls a global economic train wreck. Now, at the same time, the CEO expects the supply-demand issue could be balanced in the next few weeks. Then over at Cenovus, that company reported a $1.8 billion loss in its first quarter, and cash flow missed expectations.
Cash flow missed expectations. Somebody's getting their kneecaps busted. I pressed play, and that's press play again to pause it, and press play again to play it, and I have to fucking hit this stupid. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna hit slow. If you press the end key, it goes to the end. So if you press the home key, you figure it goes back up, right? Figure the home key would bring it back up, right? No, you know what home key does this. Brings me to the home screen of Android. I need that right now. So, what the fuck is going on here, man? I'm gonna do it. What the fuck is all that?
Hi, Max Kaiser. This is the Kaiser Report. The response has been overwhelming. People are demanding for Max and Stacy's.
Why are you free? Like, I'm not fucking Rudolph the Red-Nosed fucking reindeer, eh? Let's fuck it up right when at the fucking first fucking point of the whole fucking video was to hear Doug Ford talk.
Let's burn, nigga. Let's burn, nigga. I've been ready. Yeah.
Who wants to hear what the fuck
hey, cruising down the street with my AR. Strapped in the whip. We all trying to score. Better get low, cause we flip cars. Ride behind the tent. We seen it from far.
Defeated the fucking purpose of having a fucking music program. Defeated the fucking purpose. Did you see how your poor coding skills defeat the purpose of coding? To completely defeat the purpose. Completely defeat the purpose.
Good afternoon. This is Wednesday, the 29th of April.
Good afternoon. Here's what.
Please keep popping these things up and down.
Nothing on my
Only
wrist,
when I'm looking this way,
nothing on my
look,
neck,
you're gonna drop it all
nothing on my
away.
fist, it's all
But
on my
that's
back.
like 2 seconds.
Don't you get the gist? I got the confidence, don't need a brand on my chest. Hey, wealthy people don't need jewelry.
That's what it is. Everybody wants to live at the same fucking time. I don't know if I'm watching my fucking
industry
post it
got
up.
complex. I turned reality into a lucid dream. I turned a lucid dream into whipped cream. Cash rules, nothing around me. I only use it for paper planes, actually. I'm the opposite of Microsoft. I'm big and hard. Let that resonate, maybe a little more. I got that lyricism sprinkled with a lot of flow. I made my sauce authentic on a chopping board. Baby, it's spicy, be careful. Don't shake the bottle too much, be gentle. It's kinda high on the Scoville level. Don't burn your tongue, don't get it in your eyes too. I turned reality into a lucid dream. I turned a lucid dream into whipped cream. Cash rules, nothing around me. I only use it for paper planes, actually. Self-care, yeah, got a lot of that. No food tastes good as having a six-pack. You should cut your snack same way you cut that crack. Then you wouldn't look fat as a Cadillac. Baby, looking like a snack. I can see you did them squats on the squat rack. I don't need a beat, I don't really need a track. You can be my producer with your booty clap. I turned reality into a lucid dream. I turned a lucid dream into whipped cream. Cash rules, nothing around me. I only use it for paper planes, actually. Baby, keep your pants on, zip tight, locked off. This is not the time for you to rack it up. We be in court, the judge is getting cross. You robbed the bank, baby, you took your mask off. You took 100K and left it at my front door. Thought it was funny, nice joke. Cause you know I bail you out no matter what the cost. I need that flavor, baby, shit, cause I got the sauce. cause I got the sauce. I said it cause I got the sauce. Cause I got the sauce.
Trend reported today. There's been an increase of 347 newly confirmed cases. That's the lowest increase in more than 3 weeks.
So
Of the 15,728 cases, just over 61% are resolved.
Down,
That's the first time we
it was a
moved
3-day
beyond
rally.
60%. 45 new deaths reported. At least 996 people have lost their lives to COVID-19 in Ontario, the majority of which continue to be long-term care home residents. When it comes to contracting the virus, healthcare workers being hard hit with the number of cases just shy of 2,200. That's almost 14% of all cases. The number of people in hospital with COVID-19 climbed in this latest report, but there was a slight decrease in the number of people in intensive care and on ventilators. We will get the latest from Doug Ford in about an hour.
They can't quite get it to do what they want, but they can keep attacking it and basically overwhelm the machine. So it doesn't do what you want either.
MPs are now beginning in-person proceedings in the House of Commons today, and they'll be dealing with a major financial aid package for students. Here's our Parliament Hill reporter, Cormac McSweeney.
Right up until the last minute, the Trudeau government and opposition parties have been holding negotiations around changes to the legislation to approve a $9 billion support package for students. Liberals are looking to pass the bill as quickly as possible, but other parties are seeking changes. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau stresses the need to pass the bill rapidly, adding these are much needed supports like the student benefit of $1,250 a month for those who can't find work and other significant measures. Students
Can't find what? Okay, can we assume that people looking for that people are like
for $1,000 to
you guys
$5,000
don't have as much work
through the
experience?
new
You try to go to
Canada
school.
Student Service Grant
You gotta go look
for
for work.
volunteer hours.
There is no
Prime
work.
Minister
You
also
gotta look
says the
for it.
government looking at many options to protect our food supply after some meatpacking plants were forced to close due to COVID-19. Trudeau also says the government is considering the request from the Canadian.
And happening now, let's go live to Ottawa. And our federal health officials, Dr. Teresa Tam.
373 confirmed cases, including
I thought that pussy all already spoke. You cut him off when he started frogging it up.
labs across Canada have tested over 758,000 people for COVID-19, with about 7% of these testing positive.
The more you test, the higher that percentage gets. It was
Yesterday, we had
5
an update on the progress that Canadians have made in flattening the curve of COVID-19. We also looked at some of the short-term predictions from our real data forecasting models. Things are looking better,
I know somebody
but
that
we're not
also
entirely out of the woods
should
yet.
have got tested, didn't
We have to remain mindful that our projections are only as reliable as our actions
You're not
now
officially
and
real.
going
You're not
forward.
fully
If we maintain measures that keep the growth rate down and prevent a rebound, we stand the best chance of remaining on this favorable trajectory. With these promising signs, we are increasingly hearing of reopening
Civic. I bet it was red.
but this
I
won't
bet
happen
that
at
was
the
a
same
red
time
fucking Civic.
or in the same way everywhere. We've seen that the epidemiological
Bet you an 89
picture in
Civic, that was a
Canada,
red 89
with slowed growth and bending of the epidemic curve, is actually a composite of very different regional outbreaks and different drivers of COVID-19 spread, depending on where you are in the country. Some areas are seeing very few or no recent cases and have started their gradual social and economic reopening. At the same time, all areas of the country know that there is still a need for key public health practices, like physical distancing when we are out or in the workplace and good hand washing, always. The ability to maintain these preventive practices is an important part of reopening plans for workplaces, schools, and businesses. The critical public health capacity that must be in place and maintained across Canada is necessary to ensure adequate testing to detect, alert, and respond quickly to any new disease.
Speaking of what, I don't get Amber alerts. I don't get Silver alerts. I don't get 680 News email alerts. I don't get active shooters in my own province. What I would consider my own province alerts
of public health measures against their potential negative consequences. Likewise, these measures will need to remain flexible and adaptable to alerts and signals.
in the dark like a crack.
Although we will be living with COVID-19 for the foreseeable future, we also know that together we can keep this virus at bay by remaining vigilant. Our collective efforts have already slowed the growth of COVID-19, bent the curve, and enabled our health system to cope. These are no small feats, and they tell us we will get through this. Ça va bien aller. Thank you. Merci.
What? Ça va bien. Ça va bien. Allez. What? Ça va bien.
Good afternoon. As usual, we'll start with the latest numbers on COVID-19 in Canada. Today, there are now 50,373 confirmed cases, including 2,904 deaths. To date, labs across Canada have tested over 758,000 people for COVID-19, with about 7% of these testing positive. Yesterday, we had an update on the progress that Canadians have made in flattening the curve with COVID-19. We also looked at some of the short-term predictions from our real data forecasting models.
And you've been just listening to Dr. Tam, Chief Public Health Officer, with her quick daily update there. She did say that we are not out of the woods just yet. And
we were listening to her finish that sentence when you started talking,
It will be based on public health recommendations. She did note today we now have over 50,373 confirmed COVID-19 cases in Canada. Just over 2,900 deaths.
I got to figure out how far I can go on board.
758,000 tests. Dr. Tam saying we will be living with COVID-19 for the unforeseeable future. We will have more details on what Dr. Tam had to say coming up at 12:30.
For the foreseeable future.
The city of Markham is teaming up with a technology company to bring residents more reliable information on COVID-19. 680's Momin Qureshi joins us live with more of the partnership announced today. Momin.
Markham is going high tech, partnering with IBM. Sarah, they're using what's called the Watson Assist for Citizens to let the people of Markham ask questions that they might have. Here's Markham Mayor Frank Scarpitti.
Things like common symptoms, how many cases are in your region, information on safety, and much, much more. IBM Watson Assistant for Citizens will also answer your questions about some of Markham's services, such as the tax relief program that we've passed, or our garbage collection.
This service will be available 24/7 online or over the phone. Over in Brampton Mayor Patrick Brown says they are going high tech as well.
With modern technology, there's no reason the City Hall can't operate on all cylinders in a manner that can include public participation, but having that public participation digitally as well. And so I'm pleased that we've been able to now officially transform all city services digitally for this new challenge of being able to operate and function as a city within the COVID-19 environment.
Reporting live, I'm Momin Qureshi.
And now the 680 News gas price update, and Pro predicts the price will not change at midnight. It'll stay at 81.9 cents a liter.
680 News Time, 12:10.
What are they saying? You are so scared, will you?
As a homeowner,
I don't
you have
understand.
built-up equity value in your home. With Capital Direct, equity equals flexibility for homeowners. Flexibility to finance your business. Flexibility to renovate your home. Or flexibility to pay off other bills like credit cards or property taxes. If you've got something you would like to take care of, call Capital Direct today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL and see what's available for you. CapitalDirect.ca.
680 News Time, 12:11.
Time now for traffic and weather together on the ones. Checking that drive. Here's Gary Prunskis.
This report is brought to you by AGMRenovations.com. Well, it's a horrible drive right now. Toronto bound on the QEW. We have this construction approaching the Burlington Skyway. The 3 left lanes are closed, so traffic is jammed solid from Nikola Tesla to the Burlington Skyway. If you're just about to head this way, I would definitely plan an alternate route. Bail off the Toronto bound QEW at Red Hill Valley Parkway. You can take Woodward, which connects with Eastport eventually, and Eastport or Beach Boulevard. Both are good alternates for the time being. Other than that, the major routes are moving well. Just some other construction closures to watch out for. Eastbound 401, the ramp to Lake Ridge, left lane now closed for some road work there. And on the westbound 401, as you're approaching the Allen and the Collectors, the right lane is shut down for some road work. And northbound on the 404, north of Highway 7, the left lane also closed there, but no delays in that area. If you're traveling off the major routes, we have this closure of northbound Highway 27. It's shut down between Major Mackenzie and Nashville. That's because of downed wires. And as a result, Major Mac also shut down in both directions west of Highway 27. It's closed between Finland and Highway 27. No word yet when it's going to reopen.
Working from home on the couch with kids?
Hardly working.
Turn your basement into a home office suite from
Oh, no
$4.90 a month.
basement.
Visit AGMbasements.com. And now with the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi. Still a chance of some scattered showers through the day today. Overall, mostly cloudy with steady rain moving in tonight, 10 to 15 millimeters. More rain for Thursday, near 10 millimeters and 14 degrees for a daytime high. The average high this time of year is 15, so we're getting closer. Your guaranteed high today, 11. Right now in downtown Toronto, it is mostly cloudy and 8 degrees. At Pearson Airport, it's cloudy and 10. 680 News Time, 12:13.
Time now for the Dynamic Funds Market Minute. And let's check into the business center. How are things looking, Chris?
Oh, it's still looking good, Steve. We've got gains on both sides of the border. The NASDAQ actually closed to a new high for the day, and it continues to be the big winner in North America on a percentage basis, higher by 3.3% right now. The S&P is up by 74 points. And the Dow is higher by 556, while the TSX is up by 2.5% or 379 points, 15,177. And the gain would be more sizable on Bay Street were it not for the gold stocks. Gold itself down $8, $17.14. Still seeing a pretty big bounce in the price for oil. It's up 28% right now, or $3.50. 15.82. The Canadian dollar higher by 0.3 cents, 71.75 cents US. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
Research shows that investors who work with an advisor accumulate 3.9 times more assets than those who don't. Advice matters now more than ever. Learn more at dynamic.ca/advice.
On May 2nd, the Today Showstopper at TSC will be the Beauty Bio Glow Pro Microneedling Regeneration Facial and Body Set, complete with sculptor firming body cream. Easy and comfortable to use in just 60 seconds a day. Microneedling helps stimulate skin with painless exfoliation and deep pore rejuvenation for clinically proven smoother skin. Get it on May 2nd when it's the Today's Showstopper. Shop TSC.ca.
Oh, what happened? Remember Sergeant Bob back in the day? Whatever happened to him? Oh, he stepped on an IED, man. Oh, no, what happened? Oh,
the finder can call the number on the back of the tag or drop them in any mailbox. And the Lawrence will return your keys to you for free.
I got microneedle. That's why it sounds horrible. I know what that would
make
feel
a
like.
difference in the lives of amputees, like me.
Oh, every like 18 days, I get like about a day and a half where it's not horrible fucking
It's overcast at 8 degrees right now in downtown Toronto. Good afternoon from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Steve Roberts.
And I'm Sarah Parrots. Here are the top stories this hour.
Ontario is reporting 347 new COVID-19 cases today. Now, that is the smallest increase in several weeks. The province is also reporting 45
That's the smallest increase. It went up, but not as much.
Meantime, provincial data finds that
I'm still on fire.
Ontario residents who have tested positive for the virus are healthcare workers.
A small number of MPs are heading into the House of Commons today for the first weekly in-person sitting, and on the docket is a $9 billion package for students. The Conservatives want changes that would ensure the legislation includes incentives for young people to take available jobs rather than stay home and collect emergency aid.
The city of Markham has teamed up with technology company IBM to offer residents 24-hour customer service for COVID-19 questions. The new platform will be via online, text, and even voice calls.
For these stories and more, head to 680news.com.
Oh, they can do it to save the cost of diesel fuel. They can't do it to actually do the job.
For 680 Sports and from Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Andrew Nye. Andrew.
Good afternoon, Steve. The Baseball Hall of Fame class of 2020 may have to wait to receive its due. The July induction ceremony is expected to be postponed until 2021 because of COVID-19. Derek Jeter and Larry Walker would be combined with the 2021 class. There's a new baseball plan for this season, according to Bob Nightingale of USA Today. Major League Baseball is discussing a late June, early July start for 3 10-team matches. Get involved in the we should be Mother Africa's the only South We ain't in Africa. We in Oakland.
In Oakland, we got police brutality. We got the white man interacting. His Billy Club upside the black man's head. That shit don't bother you. But you take your straight wearing ass back to Africa.
Off-tax cigarettes.
I can't breathe around this bitch. Yeah, I can't breathe around this bitch.
Oh, you're a municipal police officer.
Breathe around this bitch. Hands up, hands up. Don't shoot, don't shoot. Every corner, let's stick together.
Security guys coaching more than policemen. Security guys are more training than policemen.
I can't breathe around this bitch. Yeah, I can't breathe around this bitch.
Police don't have to make anybody happy. Security guys have to at least make the boss happy.
And taught me well to survive through hell. In my DNA to get big.
The cops call it the purpose of having private security guards a problem.
Alone, education, alone, coming of age to the page. 10 years in the making of a star, going far. Wasn't born yesterday. Haters hate all day. It's their job. Couple 100,000 ain't shit. Rather starving with for millions. Man, listen. I rap for the children, you rap for the hood rats, cops killing kids, blood spill and get promoted. Nation voted, if you was a family member, I would have answered with crimes against that man that did that. Cause I grew up in a gang and was raised by the streets. But I'm corporate, so I educate, been racial profiled by cops 100 times to skip it, 100 lives. It wasn't during the crime, 40% just liquid. I told them they're wasting their time.
You have to have 40% less Mercedes or something?
You don't want it with me. You don't want it with Broncos. You don't want it with G. Nigga. I can't breathe around
but you gotta pay for half the empty seat.
I can't breathe around this bitch. Yeah, I can't breathe around this bitch. Yeah, I can't breathe around this bitch. Hands up, hands up. Don't shoot, don't shoot. Like a
Big Brother says.
Let's stick together and be forever. Cause we're soldiers. I can't breathe around this place. I can't breathe around this place.
Just syndrome.
Hands up, don't shoot, Michael Brown, Eric Garner. Let's stick together and be forever. Cause we're soldiers. Cause I can't breathe around this place. I can't breathe around this place. I can't breathe around this place. Hands up, don't shoot, don't shoot.
You're gonna tax me.
I can't breathe.
Clark says I don't pay you tax for that. No. Clark said no. Clark said no, brother. You put your hands on me and take it off from me. It's gonna be a problem.
I can't breathe around this place.
And hey, most of what I got from the government, and I kind of do that a little bit on purpose too. So if you take it from me, you're really just stealing the government. These are government issue rubber bands, and you're
limitless. 2015.
I've had police take 25 cents out of my pocket. Like,
the demon is a liar. You like to convince.
I'm glad I wasn't.
Mix lies with the truth.
You weren't even carrying all your money for me to say, no, I wasn't. Like, what the fuck kind of head trip are you on? What did you do with 20? You can't even use a payphone with 25 cents. What did you do with the card?
This is real life shit, can't change it for an instant. Blood, sweat, and tears, now everyone's against it. Trying to step in our way, man, your ass will get popped. Got homies on every corner, none afraid to get shot. You hear it drop. Here comes the end of your life. Hollow points cutting through you like the edge of a knife. It's getting harder to see. Step away from the light, cause I'm the devil in disguise. I stole your soul tonight. What?
I stole your soul tonight. I'm the devil in disguise. I stole your soul tonight. I stole your soul tonight. I'm the devil in disguise. I stole your soul tonight. I stole your soul tonight. I'm the devil in disguise. I stole your soul tonight. What? Yeah, I stole your soul tonight. Devil in disguise. Stole your soul tonight.
As you wake up in the darkness, not realizing I'm there, go ahead and reach for the light. You won't find one there. This is the darkness inside, mixed with the pain that you feel. Hear the voices calling out another soul to conceal. You see the tears in the eyes, that's what's causing the pain. Staring at yourself blindly, can't remember the name. Call me whatever you like, but let it be told, I'm the devil in disguise and the possessor of souls.
The possessor of souls, the devil in disguise, yeah, possessor of souls. The possessor of souls, I'll be the devil in disguise, the possessor of souls. The possessor of souls, I'll be the devil in disguise, the possessor of souls. The possessor of souls, devil in disguise, the possessor of souls.
Feel the pain in your chest, yeah, that's me coming back, being possessed by the devil. It's the light that I have, a possessor of souls, another light in the dark. Hear the footsteps in the night, now your ass is in shock. Go ahead and hide, try to make no sound, and know your every thought and action, so you're bound to be found. I'm getting closer. Can you feel my presence here? Cause I'm the devil in disguise, the only person you fear.
The only person you fear, I'll be the devil in disguise, the only person you fear. The only person you fear, I'll be the devil in disguise, the only person you fear. The only person you fear, I'll be the devil in disguise, the only person you fear. What? Yeah, the only person you fear, devil in disguise, the only person you fear. I'm in control of your life, I'm the voice in your pain, I'm the hate in your heart, and the sin in your brain. I'm the death of your dreams and the loss of your life. I'm the tender thought of slicing your wrist with a knife. There's no escaping the voice, no turning the time. Your soul is already lost, and I'm making it mine. I'm the devil in disguise, like you take a penny form. I'm the feeling of fear when you're feeling alone. Yeah. You are unclean spirit, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. It is He who commands you. He who loves you.
And what's up with shooting shit up over some craziness and shit because he's drunk? Fucking. Every time the cops come to us, that's the message I'm trying to get him. I don't give a fuck if the cops do come. You will in the morning. He started thinking. I can't tell him not to do it. I can't tell him not to fucking flip the fuck out. My friends tell me not to. I think they're my friends. Dougie Doug, where the fuck are you? Your shift has started. Yeah, me too.
I'm riding around the city with a stick of sticky icky. Need a rush and blow and throw. I'm running out of time. I got no money on my mind, and I'm too hot to switch and mix it with the dough. I see these bitches stacking, man. These wannabe rappers talking shit. Gee, I better take a note. On the come up, steady rising. Some of y'all be steady hiding. I'm colliding, slipping, sliding to your hoe. Low key, no piano. These rappers frontin' like they Lucky Luciano, but they don't know that I'm a goddamn Batman. And when you see me, best believe I raid in black, that's Batman. I turn yellow into ghosts, eat them like Pac-Man. No game, store you out in trash cans, no shame. You want blow? That's no way. That cocaine got your nose red like strawberries from show dice. I get money and sit back and post fame, chill deep and for real creep on your Dane. That heat leave you with no sleep and no brain. Then you awake with no sneaks and no chain. A black sneak getting shiggity. You know Ray, a fast life living, but still dealing with some slow days. What can I say? That's just what it is, dog. But I gotta get that money for my next of kin, dog. Ride around the city with a stick of sticky icky. No complaining, speeding, rushing, blowing, throw. I'm running out of time, I got that money on my mind, and I'm too hot to switch and mix it with the dough. I see these bitches slacking, man, these wannabe rappers talking shit, gee, I better take a note. On the come up, steady rising, some of y'all be steady hiding, I'm colliding, slipping, sliding to your home. Yeah, that's right.
That's called Gatorade, like the fucking Gatorade.
Just trying to get noticed, but I'll do it regardless of whether my dreams are hopeless. So don't lose focus. No HD, do it for hip hop. So thank God for my ABCs. Yeah, and still you know where I'm coming from. When the mic is live, you can call it doubles. And there goes another one biting the dust. Call me your majesty. I'm just the crown, so all the rapping after me. Best to bring the A-game. I maintain the elevation of an airplane. On another level, recognize the tab track sounds good. Yo, Matty Hood, bring the hook back. And I'm an ocean, raise your Twitter. Now follow me like a bed on Twitter. You know I'm gonna get my pop just like I'm carrying top. So if you ever get your goddamn hands up. And I'm an ocean, raise your Twitter. Now follow me like a bed on Twitter. You know I'm gonna get my pop just like I'm carrying top. So if you ever get your goddamn hands up. Now we've all been through the highs and the lows. Continue carrying on with the rhymes and the flows. Keep your head held high and always stay focused. Make your magic happen and poof, it's focused. I wave my magic wand and make amazing happen. Ain't the NBA, but you could say I'm full court trapping. Yeah, I got this shit on lock and consistently getting better after each tick-tock of the clock. What do I gotta prove to get it through to you? Nothing in the way of the dreams that I pursue. Everybody needs one, cause once it's yours, it's yours. A wise man once told me that when it rains, it pours. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, life's what you make it in this world is mine to be taken. So step aside, your reflections in my
I was smart. I would not like going into someone who said every piece of artwork I ever found was all PTC collector thereabouts. Oh, you can't use those no class. Jesus Christ, coins. You can put in whatever the fuck you want. Walk around so quickly. You know the things I've seen, people have seen the visions of the fucking somebody takes it in somewhere. It's out.
Give you a sample of what you can handle. And if you want to gamble, get burnt like a candle. The skill level's ample, my stampede will trample. It's Halloween and I got the goods, come get a handful.
The hate and the disease, and it will bring you to your knees if you understand and do this shit almost for fucking free. And the government that you love is the one making fun of you and me. You fear the wolf, but the shepherd will slaughter you. I will. We are not here to father you, the fatherland. It's not a safe space. We're shooting at your man. Oh, I can't listen to that one right now.
Cross-country track.
The NCAA backs a player endorsement plan. And
okay, I don't these. So what? 1 o'clock? Is it 1 o'clock when fucking? When did Ford come on? Like 9 in the morning or something? Like, okay, so the news in French is sometime around 7 to 9. Then it stops. Just stops dead. That I couldn't find when they were doing the news. They don't want. There's a whole ritual to get in with these people. You're initiated from like, well, I didn't choose French immersion. Thanks, Mom. Everybody else thought it was a good idea. Except the government, okay.
So only one right lane is squeezed.
They just don't do traffic reports when these guys are talking. Like, traffic just takes care of itself. Grown-ups. You're driving a straight line, right? Keep following the fucking line, stupid. No, you can't get off here. No, you can't get on here. Nope, keep going. Yeah, all the way out of town, and back around here. 18 lanes to nowhere. There's nobody in the fucking
running up with them and no way out. Ain't the time to break his brains for the ones that want to be saved and not
in here. I can hide somewhere in the corner.
All my people's in the dirt, sharing your death is worth something. And no nothing. They're never gonna slow us down with the spirit of a warrior. Not even book can stop us now. You better with us, if you with us, fuck you with us, steady ready for whatever comes our way. Molotov drum breaking out in flames, and everything is I can't tame the beast.
Canadian apples.
Coming for the brain, cause the pain never ceases. Break them up at night, until I see them cuts dropping. My motive is explosive, to stop the intruders in their tracks, popping off my gas, staying straight, busting until them bodies dead. It ain't over till I lost his back, and that's a fact. Where you at? In the struggle, baby, savage on the hustle. I'm gonna grab them by the face and wrap their mouth around my muzzle.
Shooting till every one of them die. We shoot back, shoot what they have. What they doing, we will need on these demons, leaving everything in ruins. We rebels, even some rebels coming to rock.
So, I got a better idea. What if we just pick you an odd number of days? What day is your birthday on? Even around. That's the same day you go to the grocery store. Thumbs up. You're 2 days at a time. That puts the number of visits in half. If you don't run out of stock, I gotta go once a week. I'm gonna buy 18 fucking times what I need, right?
Now we the range and say the name the same on anybody looking good. Looking now you made me this. Look around and you whiskey devil murdering baby kids.
I'm the ideal person for the fucking attendant list cash register, is what it is.
Just like the old days, a whole gang of savages don't care to die of old age. It's so sacred, it's hatred that we was born with. Nurture for the purpose of keeping us on this bullshit.
How could you just stand there and the shit just rolls by and beats itself? And I have to make my own safe. Okay. I'm not replacing that person with a machine. No. Because I'll vandalize the machine and I'll steal shit. And I'll fight with the security guys. So you're going to be paying benefits. Right? And that's not going to be those benefits. Oh, he's all thugged out thinking he's going to get a $2, $5 raise. He's going to get 6 months out. Well, ever since the incident, he's been a little bit off, man. Stop being a frozen banana or something. You don't fucking What is that? People drop bananas sometimes. Outside the store. He's on a memory for somebody's bitch.
We taking hostages, taking your government in the tail. We taking our heads off just to show you the shit is real. We all
describe it as a critical and necessary tool.
Right? 2 minutes.
Service will be available 24/7 online and over the phone. Meantime, in Brampton, the city of Brampton continuing to lay some pretty heavy fines for people who are ignoring physical distancing rules, saying they broke up 5 house parties and 2 parking lot gatherings where people were definitely not practicing physical distancing. Reporting live, I'm on
I'm just saying
You're listening to 680 News. It's 12:36. The House of Commons is back underway as federal politicians prepare to debate the federal government's massive financial aid package for students. With more, here's our Parliament Hill reporter, Cormac McSweeney.
MPs right now are taking part in the general question and answer session before they start directly dealing with the legislation, which Liberals want to pass rather quickly for this $9 billion student financial aid package. But to do that, they'll need the support of the opposition parties, which want changes. Conservatives want new incentives for students to go to work instead of collecting this aid, while NDP leader Jagmeet Singh wants a boost to benefits for certain students.
And we will not be supporting unless the government shows that
Students living with disabilities and students that have dependents get the same amount under CERB. The negotiations continue. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister also saying today the government is looking at many options to protect our food supply after some meatpacking plants were forced to close after workers tested positive for COVID-19. He's not technically ruling out ordering them open like we're seeing in the U.S. We're working with provinces. We're working with the sector. Agricultural Canada is very much on this issue. We need to continue to stay vigilant. The Prime Minister also says the government is considering a request from the Canadian Football League for $150 million in financial aid. Cormac makes
Can you like
Parliament
just
Hill.
break that? Can you itemize it at least?
Across Canada,
Can you like suggest like what
the
you can do
Canadian
with
Armed
some of
Forces
it?
aerobatics team will begin their
You have
flyover
150
in Nova
players. You're just
Scotia
gonna give
this
$1 million
weekend and
to
then
like
work
what
their
is
way
your
west
plan?
throughout the rest of the week. The Snowbirds paused their training last month because of COVID-19
You motherfuckers
and
are
will
the ones
spend
that
2
should
days
be
at their
donating
home
right
base in
now.
CFB Moose
Your
Jaw,
fan base, the
Saskatchewan,
people
before
that love
starting
you.
their tour.
Oh, the
Don't
makers
have
of
nothing
Nutella,
right now.
Ferrero
They can't
Rocher,
even
and
watch you
Kinder
play with
Products
their mind
says
off.
it had to close down its Brantford plant after employees tested positive for COVID-19. Ferrero Canada Limited says the plant closed Tuesday afternoon when it discovered 7 workers contracted the virus.
Okay.
Ferrero says in an email that the employees worked in the same areas and had not been in the plant for almost 2 weeks before getting their test results. It says the facility will undergo an assessment and deep cleaning, and workers will be compensated for their time away. But the company isn't saying if the closure would result in shortages of Ferrero products.
What they were supposed to
Some
do.
hope for some good news about the
Wait, 2
treatment
weeks
of coronavirus.
They would told us
The
by
makers
now,
of the flu drug Remdesivir say they're expecting promising news from the National Institutes of Health when it outlines the results of a government-run trial of the drug's effectiveness as a treatment for coronavirus. The study of Remdesivir involved 800 patients, but neither they nor the doctors knew who got the drug and who got the placebo. So unconscious bias should have no effect on the conclusions. An earlier study of Remdesivir conducted in China was stopped because it was difficult to recruit patients. Aaron Katersky, ABC News, New York.
City News Time, 12:39.
I know there's no way.
Starbucks
A real
Canada
drug
is
can
taking
take from
steps
exactly
to
the same on
reopen
purpose,
stores. We
and
get
the one is
details
harmless.
from
It's
680
not like the
business
killing people.
editor Chris
Oh,
McCusker.
right,
The
that,
company
on that
says it's
level.
preparing to
And
resume
you never
operations in
fucking
as many
mix them
stores
up,
as possible by the end of May.
Aren't they in
The
bottles
coffee
that just
chain
say like
says
1,
the
2, 3,
stores
and
which
it's
have
like
remained
you don't
open
even fucking know
have
which one's
allowed
what
it to
you do.
test and refine new
You ever go
ways
through half
of
the day and
working
realize you
with
ended
physical
up the wrong ones
distancing
for
in
the wrong
mind.
people?
So as it gears up, stores will offer drive-through delivery and pickup only. Then, as it moves forward, the company will make decisions on opening additional stores or expanding services. The chain also says employees will be required to wear facial coverings and check their temperature before each shift. And Plexa shields are also being installed, so they're ready to go when the physical cafes reopen. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
And now time for the 680 News gas price update. Info says the price of gas is not expected to change at midnight tonight. It means it should hold at 81.9 cents a liter.
680 News Time, 12:40.
So what our weather forecast is on by more than 3 degrees.
Next week we talk, maybe close to 9.
680news.com.
And then switch back to 10.
This is
I swear to God, they did that.
You've probably been hearing a
Bastards
lot
got
about
the security
staying
gates
home
on the front
recently.
doors of the
But
grocery
how
store.
can you stay home if you don't have one? Fred Victor is helping the homeless during these difficult times. And they need your
I
support
think you could
now
pass
more than
body
ever.
armor and shit.
Until April 30, the Serge Ibaka Foundation will match every donation up to $100,000. So help the homeless by donating today at fredvictor.org.
680 News Time, 12:41. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carrie Prunskis. This report is brought to you by
I went
Aura
to the grocery
Freedom.
store. There was no
Toronto Mound on
lineup.
the QEW, that is by far the slowest route right now. Jam
But of all
solid
the
from
rambling I
Nikola
did, that
Tesla
was the
to the
thing I was
Burlington
trying to do with
Skyway. From about Eastport to the Burlington Skyway, that's where the 3 left lanes are closed, all for construction. And this project is likely going to be continuing through most of the afternoon, as it usually does when they do these 3 lanes blocked. So in the meantime, I would take Eastport or Beach Boulevard as alternate routes. The rest of the major routes are moving pretty well. Just some
construction on the eastbound 401 ramp to Lake Ridge. The left lane is closed, and westbound on the 401 as you're approaching the Allen and the Collectors, the right lane is shut down. Northbound on the 404 north of Highway 7, crews are working in the left lane there. And thanks to traffic spotters for the updates, Major Mackenzie is still closed in both directions west of Highway 27. It's shut down between Finland and Highway 27. That's because of downed wires in the area, but a reminder that northbound Highway 27 has reopened there. In Mississauga, northbound Torbram Road, that's jammed from north of Derry to approaching the 407, and there's single lane construction through that stretch. Women and children are experiencing increased violence while isolated at home during the lockdown. Aura Freedom supports women's shelters and drop-in centers still operating. Donate at aurafreedom.org. And now with the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi. Could see a few scattered showers here and there the rest of the day today as we move into the later afternoon, evening, and especially overnight. Steady periods of rain, lows near 10 degrees. More showers and wet weather for Thursday, highs near 14 degrees. Chance of showers continue for Thursday night, lows near 9. Your guaranteed high today is 11.
And it's still overcast in downtown Toronto, although it's temperature now 9 degrees. On the Pearson Airport, it's cloudy and 10. 60 News Time 12:43.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute live from the Business Center. Here's Chris McCusker. Well, Sarah, your timing is perfect. We've got markets close to their highs for the day. Right now, the Dow is up by 612 points. The S&P higher by 77, and the Nasdaq up by 302. So the Nasdaq is still a big winner in North America, higher by 3.5%. Right now, the TSX up by about 2.5%, or 392 points, 15,191, with Bay Street higher for a fourth straight day, and that is even with gold down by $7, 17.14 now helping to offset that. The price for oil is higher by $3.55 to $15.88 a barrel. That is a jump of 28%. And the Canadian dollar higher by 37,100, 71.81 cents US. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
In times like these, we could all use advice, especially when it comes to investing. Advice matters now more than ever. Speak to a financial advisor and learn more at dynamic.ca/advice.
Canada's healthcare workers never expected to fight a battle like this. They're working around the clock, isolating from their families, risking their lives on a daily basis. That's why hospital foundation leaders all across the country come together to launch the Frontline Fund. Wait for Canadians staying at home to arm our frontline healthcare workers with additional supplies, support, and research funding to fight COVID-19. Support Canada's Frontline by donating now. Frontlinefund.ca.
I'm here with Bill Coy of Coy Brothers, and we're talking about the all-for-nothing frickin' part that just broke.
Easy there, pal. This is a family business.
Sorry, Bill, but do you know what it's like when you put in a hard day's work and one of your pieces of equipment breaks?
I've been there, and that's why you can now purchase genuine Echo, Kubota, and Toro equipment parts online from Coy Brothers.
Parts like belts and filters, spark plugs, starters, and more?
You bet, and we ship fast.
Put a part in your cart at
KOOYBRWest.com.
I'm never going to remember the fucking phone. That's like a payphone number.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Cloudy sky in downtown Toronto. It is 9 degrees. Good afternoon from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Sarah Parrott.
And I'm Steve Roberts. Here are the top stories on this Wednesday afternoon.
After an increase yesterday in the number of new COVID-19 cases, Ontario has recorded what looks to be the lowest one-day tally this month at 347. The province also reporting 45 new deaths today, all of whom were long-term care residents. We will hear from Premier Doug Ford as well as the Education Minister during an update scheduled for 15 minutes from now. The federal Liberals are expected to have to make some changes to a $9 billion student aid package to get it through the House of Commons today. A limited number of MPs are there right now to debate the package, which is designed to help students who likely won't be able to get a summer job to pay for their tuition.
I mean, who really cares?
Time now for 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Andrew Nye.
Hey, Sarah, according to ESPN, a growing number of Premier League players are uncomfortable with coming back during the COVID-19 pandemic, which would put a wrench in the EPL's plans to resume the soccer season. One person quoted as saying, "The only way the league takes this seriously is when someone at a club dies." He's never played Augusta in the fall. The 2003 Masters champ Mike Weir told Good Show this morning, outside of the flowers, he thinks the course could play similar, and the cool weather could make the course nice and firm. The Masters is now scheduled to be played in November. Meanwhile, the Women's PGA Championship has been rescheduled for October 8th. The major was originally slated for June in Pennsylvania. The NCAA is moving forward with a plan to allow student athletes to earn money for endorsements and other activities involving personal appearances and social media. The board-supported plan is expected to be approved in time for the 2021-22 season. And Manny Ramirez still has the itch. The former MLB superstar has his sights set on the Chinese Pro Baseball League in Taiwan, where he played in 2013. Ramirez turns 48 next month. Sports at 15 and 45 passed every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
How come people in your generation can't count right?
Just by doing something.
You're the one that didn't go to school. Shut up.
25%. How about 30%? With Allstate, safe drivers can save 30% just by doing something they're already doing. Driving safe. That's right, 30% just by driving safe. Visit Allstate.ca or call a local agent for a quote today. And
hey, if I did, I wouldn't know what the fuck they would end up looking like.
Drive safe with Allstate.
Search Save 30% with Allstate for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
Want to discover this year's most innovative new products? Visit productoftheyear.ca. From the buzziest beauty products and luxe culinary finds to cutting-edge appliances and oh-so-good sweets, thousands of Canadians have voted for the most innovative new products for 2020. The world's largest consumer-voted award for product innovation that recognizes product design, functionality, and packaging. And the products that impressed are yours to behold at productoftheyear.ca.
680 News Time, 12:48.
New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio is taking heat from the Orthodox Jewish community after he sent the NYPD to Brooklyn last night to disperse a crowd of hundreds of Orthodox mourners. They were gathered along streets to mourn the passing of a rabbi. This morning, de Blasio said he loves the Jewish community, but will not tolerate any group's refusal to obey physical distancing orders.
I understand that when people are going through mourning, they're in real pain.
Hey, you can't
But
come
we have to
outside.
understand what it means to hold a large gathering in New York City today. It means, unfortunately, that people who go to that gathering, some will be sick with this disease.
Critics are accusing de Blasio of singling out the Orthodox Jewish community when others have violated physical distancing rules as well. The U.S. Navy will conduct a legal investigation of circumstances surrounding the spread of COVID-19 aboard the aircraft carrier USS Theodore Roosevelt. Officials say it's a move that delays the decision on whether to reinstate the ship's captain. ABC's Alex Stone has more.
Days after the Navy's top leaders recommended reinstating Captain Brett Crozier, acting Navy Secretary James McPherson says he's not quite there yet, saying he has unanswered questions that can only be answered by a deeper review.
Wife, but not the
Crozier was fired after pleading for more urgent protection of his crew. Well, the latest update to the online edition of the Merriam-Webster Dictionary is filled with terms and expressions that were born from this pandemic.
Self-quarantine, coronavirus, and community spread have made the list, but most of the 535 new entries at Merriam-Webster.com have nothing to do with COVID-19. Dark web refers to web pages that can't be viewed in a standard browser. Deepfake is an image or audio manipulated to convincingly change what was said. And a Z-Donk is the zebra-donkey hybrid that was born in Barbados in 2005. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
I thought it was
with Italy planning to reopen on Monday, the government's head of pandemic strategy says the country is prepared for a second wave of infections even bigger than the first. Officials say Italy's 20 regions now have twice as many ventilators than currently needed, and nearly double the intensive care beds the country had before the outbreak. The COVID-19 pandemic has killed more than 27,000 people in Italy.
I'm trying to search my grandfather's name. I can't make myself be serious.
680 News Time, 12:51.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carrie Pruskus. This report is brought to you by your local Ontario Subaru dealers. Toronto bound on the QEW from Eastport to the Burlington Skyway. Construction has the 3 left lanes closed, so it's only 1 right lane squeezing through. And it's barely moving on the Toronto bound QEW from Nikola Tesla to the Burlington Skyway. And this construction usually doesn't wrap up until at least mid-afternoon, so it's going to be here for, I would say, at least another couple of hours. So plan an alternate route for the time being. Eastport and Beach Boulevard, those are moving along much better. Some construction on the eastbound 401 ramp to Lake Ridge. The left lane is closed there, but not really spotting any delays across the GTA on the eastbound 401. Westbound 401 is in great shape as well. Just 1 construction spot. That's as you're approaching the Allen and the collectors. Crews have the right lane shut down. Getting around on city streets in Mississauga, northbound Torbram Road. That's jammed up from just north of Derry to approaching the 407. Single lane construction in that area. And also Major Mackenzie is shut down in both directions from Finland to Highway 27. That's because of downed wires. Ontario Subaru dealerships are standing by and ready to help with your essential automotive needs. Keep taking care of each other and Subaru will take care of you. And now with the extended forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Still the chance of seeing a bit of wet weather kind of push in and out of the GTA on and off through the day, scattered, and then more steady rain tonight, lows near 10 degrees. More wet weather Thursday near 10 millimeters with highs near 14, and some more showers for Friday morning, at least into the early afternoon, but warm Friday near 17 and almost 20 degrees for the first weekend of May. Dry conditions expected both Saturday and Sunday. Your guaranteed high today, 11 degrees.
And right now in downtown Toronto, overcast at 9. We got overcast conditions and 10 out at Pearson Airport.
Coming up at the top of the hour, the latest on the province reporting its smallest daily increase in the number of new COVID-19 cases today. And we'll also hear from Premier Doug Ford, as well as the Education Minister during the provincial daily update.
680 News Time, 12:53.
The Catholic secondary teachers of Dufferin Peel understand the impact of COVID-19 on our students who no longer have school, clubs, or sports teams to support them. That's why Kids Help Phone is there, offering young people free, non-judgmental, 24/7 support by phone.
I'm in here? I'm in here? Okay, well now I'm getting loud. I'm not looking for myself. Hold on. You're distracting me with myself. That was a good one. That was good. Fire Inquest. Oh yeah, we've been, when I start reading some of this shit off, you're gonna understand. We've been pissed off about the way they treat old people for a long time. Oh, no, I just gotta see if I can find this shit. Suicide research, no. That name is not even close to the same. We're way off here. Motherfucker. It used to be very easy to find. I had a bookmark somewhere. I'm not in here. I'm in here. These are not spelled the same either. Hey, I'm not gonna find my name in this list. Where the fuck am I? What happens if I click on my own name? Do I cease to exist or do I begin to exist? If I click on this, does it make it official? I should fucking navigate away, eh? But what if I don't and then I stop existing? Like if Skynet doesn't know you exist, you don't exist. Okay, I'm gonna cheat. Find on page my motherfucking name. Holy shit. There it is. It's capitalized wrong. That's it. What do I find here? Select the city where Richard Vending Kirchhoff lives to access his/her contact details. Toronto, 1. What you got? Oh. How did I get in Canada 411? I didn't know that. Hey, that's convenient. Fuck, my grandfather used to have to pay for the Yellow Pages. Canada 411, that's easy to remember. I can't remember the Yellow Pages website address, like yp.yp or some shit. Hey, that's me. That's where I am, and that's how you call me. You can get directions, not on this phone, but that is not what I'm looking for. My grandfather chaired a review of a report His name is listed as the author of the report, like officially, if you look it up in the bibliography. That was the outcome of a review into an inquest into a nursing home fire. I think they just used the term nursing home at the time. In like 1982 or some shit. And they changed nothing. So they haven't done nothing common sense since then. The old people are not allowed to smoke. And it's not, they'll tell you it's for the old people's health and longevity, but it's because the people that work there have employment law to go, oh, well, I have rights. They can set up a separate ventilator. They had separately ventilated smoking. I think they were the last exemption outside of federally registered corporations, which are required to provide separately ventilated smoking rooms. These CBC cocksuckers have separately ventilated smoking rooms. I know for a fact if they came here, they'd try and tell me to put out my cigarette. And they're not coming in. Oh, we did that already.
He says early results from a U.S.-only study shows remdesivir helped patients recover from COVID-19 more quickly. We still do not have any details from the company on this study, but the stock is higher by 6.7%, 83.98 the share. Dr. Anthony Fauci, who is the head of infectious diseases in the U.S., did speak to reporters about this not long ago, joining in on the optimism that obviously investors are seeing in this treatment. We're also seeing a jump in the price for oil today and the gain holding after the release of new data. Now, in the U.S., there was a build of 8.9 million barrels in crude supplies last week. That was lower than expected, so that could be suggesting that the demand-supply gap might be getting smaller. Right now, oil is up by $3.57, $15.89 a barrel. So that's a jump of 28%. The Canadian dollar up by 37. Chris McCusker, this is 680 News.
40-ounce bottle filled with 10-cent coins. Everybody, they're all Canadian.
Canada has stated that the use of non-medical mask or facial covering can be an additional measure you can take to protect others around you. It's important we keep the supply of medical masks for frontline healthcare workers. CanadaMaskSupply.ca.
I can't remember the goddamn name.
Non-medical masks.
There's a few of these fucking names that change the name of the company. It's like
made in Canada.
Leisure World type shit.
Non-medical masks and face shields now at CanadaMaskSupply.ca.
This is like my official website address. I'm gonna put this on the business card. Oh, you're on Canada 411.
If you're finding it difficult to cover your monthly expenses,
I know you can't
keep up
spell my
with
name
minimum payments, and manage your debt load, a BDO licensed insolvency trustee will provide a free over-the-phone consultation, review your situation, explore debt relief options, and help find a debt solution that works for you. BDO is committed to ensuring you get the debt help you need when you need it. Call 1-855-BDO-DEBT to book a free phone consultation.
Taking a look at some regional weather conditions in Niagara Falls right now. Some sun and cloud, 18 degrees. Bradford, a little cooler, 11 degrees under a partly cloudy sky. Caledon has rain, 9 degrees there. In Brampton, it's cloudy and 10. Oakville, light rain and 9. And Barrie, partly cloudy sky and 10. Downtown Toronto, it's cloudy and 9. The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. It's 1 o'clock.
I won't go full screen when I want it to.
For breaking news.
I can't make that shit go away from life.
This is 680 News.
That's the iron.
Here are
really what I'm bitching about. How the fuck do you make it?
Good afternoon. This is Wednesday, the 29th of April.
Good afternoon. Here's what's making news this hour. Ontario reporting 347 new confirmed COVID-19 cases, the lowest one-day increase in weeks. And for the first time, more than 60% of all cases are resolved.
We are just moments away from the Premier's Daily Update. We'll take it live when it happens.
The federal government and opposition continue negotiations on quickly passing the $9 billion financial aid package for students, as the Prime Minister says the feds are looking at many options to maintain our food supply through this pandemic.
Markham is using artificial intelligence to provide COVID-19 help, teaming up with IBM to offer 24/7 answers for people who have questions.
The NCAA ready to let athletes have their due, and baseball's hall. They have to wait this year's sports 9:15.
Still seeing solid gains on Bay and Wall Street, and the toilet paper stockpiling didn't help Canada's largest grocery chain as much as you might think. Business at 26.
And happening right now, let's go live to Queen's Park in Premier Doug Ford.
Sacrifices to fight the people that are out there and supporting us day in and day out. Well, my friends, I'm going to be very frank. The screen went on me, so I'm going to go talk from the heart here. We are out there day in and day out, making sure that we support the frontline workers. And as we've seen before, nothing's more important to families than taking care of their children. And we're expanding the list today on the children who we're going to take care of in child care as well. So, my friends, we're supporting all the frontline workers in meatpacking companies right across the board, in retail, grocery clerks that stand there day in and day out, making sure that they serve us as they go through the line. And my friends, we're going to continue working and making sure we keep families safe here in Ontario. The good news is we saw a trend. We saw a trend yesterday. It's a trend that actually has seen the needle start going southward. It's the lowest amount of cases we've seen over the last 3 weeks. And this is a positive trend to give people hope that we're getting close to opening up. I can't give you dates right now, but what I can give you is hope that we're getting closer. Day after day, when we see positive trends going down, we'll make sure that that's going to be closer to the day we open up. I want to thank you. I want to thank the frontline, hardworking people of this great province, and we're going to continue supporting you. God bless the people of Ontario. I'll pass it over to Minister Lecce.
Right, now to start working perfectly because this idiot's talking. Thank you. Oh, I'm sure there's some type of conspiracy just from the timing. You know, I hate this bastard because I don't like the education ministry, the teachers.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you all, and thank you, Premier. Every day, in virtually every way, workers on the front lines are making a difference in this province. They ensure our shelves are stocked and our families are needed.
It presents me no opportunity
to protect our people and our country. These are Canada's heroes in many ways, and they deserve all of our full support. The Premier made clear we must do whatever it takes to assist those on the front lines, to give them the relief they deserve as they work around the clock throughout the COVID-19 outbreak. We've unveiled a program, as many provinces have, to provide emergency childcare to those workers. Since we first unveiled that emergency childcare program on March 22nd, we've taken a staged, cautious, responsible approach to ensure safety remains paramount. And I'm proud that Ontario will support more frontline workers today by expanding that list of individuals who are eligible to receive emergency childcare in this province. And the list includes staff in grocery stores and pharmacies, those that work in retirement homes, Ontario truckers, the Canadian Armed Forces, and those that support Canadians who are deaf or hard of hearing. While we are expanding those that are eligible, we've heightened our strict health and safety protocols for those centers under the consultation of the local medical officer of health. This phase expansion is supported by the Chief Medical Officer of Health, knowing that we have put in place strict guidelines and protocols and that we have taken a zero-tolerance approach when it comes to keeping kids safe. Those guidelines ensure that no site could exceed 50 people. These centers must be thoroughly cleaned every day before opening. That all staff must be screened before they enter the center. That a plan is in place and supported by the local health authority should an outbreak occur. And that visitors are not permitted to enter the center at all. Everyone is screened upon arrival, and everyone that has any sign or symptom is not permitted inside. Zero tolerance, folks. Now, as I conclude, I just want to thank our child care workers and those operators working hard to support our frontline workers and for taking safety seriously. Thank you.
Put it on the one.
We'll go to the phone line for questions. First question. First question comes from Robert Benson from the Toronto Star. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Premier. It was hoped we would see 19,000 COVID-19 tests a day by mid-April. But we are near the end of the month, and yesterday we didn't even crack 12,000. I'm just wondering why this is continuing to lag. And
so everybody that goes to the doctor for a 10-minute appointment is there for 30 fucking minutes asking stupid questions. The commercials already told them.
I'll tell you, we had a little fallback yesterday to a little over 10,000, but majority of the days we're doing over 12,500. We're getting close to our point of 14,000. I know that will continue over the next week. We said by the end of the month, we'll see a difference moving forward in May, and we will see a difference. We're going to make sure that we continue increasing the testing. I can't give you an exact answer, Robert, why they only had 1,500 yesterday, but I'll get that answer.
He will. He might not tell us exactly.
They've been doing over 12,000 every single day, so our goal is 14,000 and the beginning of May, which is over the next day or so, we'll see that increase.
So you were saying before, though, that you were really frustrated. 3 weeks ago, you were saying how frustrated you were. Are you still frustrated, or are you now satisfied that they're going the right direction? Because many tests that need to be done before we can reach the benchmark with Dr. Williams.
Only when it feels.
Well, I'm satisfied because I kept saying 12,500. I'm sure they had a little dip yesterday. I understand that, but we'll get back on it and make sure we're heading closer to the 14,000. But I'm confident they've really picked it up over the last weeks, and they're doing an extremely good job. And we're going to be expanding tests as well